Endwalker. At long last, we are here before the Dawn Trail release. Let us start by, as we have done the past expansions, start with the trail to Endwalker. Trailer, words. Can't fucking English. Because that was the last shot we had of Shadowbringers, was the moon from many different angles. So good that it starts off on it. I've seen the gif of this. Yeah, the Enix on the bottom of the boot.
The fabric of the star had begun to fray, its land rent by tooth and claw.
Hi, Alce. Nantaboga. There's the reveal for Paladin. Well, I mean, Paladin is another class. Sage.
Alize!
Oh, he is a sage now, right?
Are you all right?
I can look after myself, you know. And I've had enough of this rabble. Come on!
As the chaos spread, the
That's
stars
Heaven's
seemed
Ward
doomed
reprised,
to
what?
unravel. And yet,
Huh? It's not Graceful Gar.
there were those who stood in defiance
That is
of
Assyrian,
that
though.
fate. The hour is come, Vritra. It's all or nothing.
That's Fanandiel. That's gotta be. This is the Imperial Capital, right? Hi, Dinos. Is he gonna be in the chair? He's gonna be in the chair.
The stage is set, but will our heroes deign to play their part? You took your time. 'Tis as we feared. The respite afforded this land was but fleeting. The end draweth nigh.
The hell is that? I've heard this song. Where is this? What is this song?
I knew it. This star still has secrets to tell. Take care, my friend.
Sharlyan.
So, Sharlyan would keep its counsel while the world is lost to ruin.
It would. Come what may, we shall live on. We must.
Do as you must then, but we scions will fight until the heavens fall, until our last breath.
That's Sharlyan then, okay. Oh, man.
edge of fate.
Oh, that's the first beast.
Dark and light. Tolling the coming of the end.
Okay, so this is gonna hurt. This entire expansion is about to hit like an absolute gut punch. Got it. Okay. That makes a lot of sense now. Okay. So there's a lot to unpack with that. We have other dragon that is not Nidhogg, at least Nidhogg living on with Estinian. I'm assuming we'll get more revelation on that plot point. We'll get more onto that. That did not look like Freysfulgar. So I'm thinking maybe we see some kind of expansion on the Nidhogg Estinian link, or on top of that, maybe it's another worm that comes into the mix, whether it is a worm that was birthed, whether it's a older worm, I don't know. I'm very curious where that's going to go. Looks like we see Sharlyan, the Arab-themed area, the Persian kind of style. That one is interesting. I don't know if that's Sharlyan or what that is, so I'm very interested to see where that goes. Xenos is going to be a great plot point. I'm going to let that one mature. As much as I want to go punch Xenos in the face, that's gonna be a slow burn. I'm already aware of that. And I do also want to take a second here, while there are those that did see through Shadowbringers. I also know there's some kind of coming in for Endwalker. So my recommendation, as somebody that has had to blitz through some content, and I'm loving it, I do think that there was a little bit of feature creep at the end of Shadowbringers, but I think that that's not the game's fault. I think that that has to do with how the game releases. And what I mean by that is there was a big feature creep at the end of Shadowbringer. There was the feature where Gabu and we were able to detemper people, right? It's not a catch-all, but we were able to finally detemper people and beings. And within patch 5.4 and 5.5, we went from Gabu exhausted like 3 Scions energy to detempering Tiamat from Bahamut to we're just doing it on the battlefield with just on a whim. And I think that that makes sense when you look at the patch release structure. If you just go into it, right, it's similar to how a quest patch ends, like a patch ends or a quest line ends. You know, oh, we'll call you when we have more, and then oh, hey, next quest is ready. Hey, we have more for you, right? That's supposed to be a real world divide and supposed to be patch releases. I did want to bring that up as I think that as somebody, as a Sprout, as a new player going through this, they might feel like they're getting railroaded into content, and I think that it's important that I impart, we impart, the mentors impart that there was gaps between this. This makes sense. I also needed to sit with the end of 5.5, 5.55 for a little bit, where the moon does make sense. Railroading through content, not having the time for me to kind of reflect on that, did hurt my opinion of that, but we had lunar primals. We had the talk of Zodiark being in the moon, right? Being sealed in the moon, right? So the final shot being of the moon from 3 different angles was actually very poetic, but it's one of those that can be missed if you are railroading yourself through that content, if you aren't pacing yourself. So just wanted to bring that up. Shadowbringers ended on a really big high. I think I don't know, it's hard. It's kind of tying for Heaven's Ward. So we're going to see how Endwalker does, which coincidentally, for all of you lovely people out there, I do have a new Reaper Glam. Many of you are used to I think it's year 18. Many of you are used to the one that I ran through some of Stormblood with. Very bright, very red, very aesthetic. I actually really liked it, but I ended up throwing a little something together. The 2B thigh boots I do think are unfortunately a little bit of a weak point on this. I don't know how I'd necessarily fix that, but I know finishing Endwalker, I do get a bunch of stuff like Reaper gear is very, very staple when it comes to aesthetics. So that is where we are at. Not really a plan going into this. We're just going to go into this and see what comes of it. I do also want to state at this time, the uploads will showcase I've done the weapon series, the finishing of Eden. Hildebrand I'll just do in post. I don't have brain space for that right now. And I have not done them as of now, but going into the upload, those should already be done and should already be out on the channel. So, seeing the community thing, I have not yet, no. I've been very specifically trying to avoid a lot of spoilers. I saw something about punching Xenos on TikTok, and I didn't even watch the full video. I just paused and clicked off, and I'm like, I need to rush through this game because it's going to be damn near impossible. Good Dawn Trail coming out this soon. But, I thought this said a horse armor.
Armor?
Well, it's the horse weapon coffer, from the first quest.
Horse chestnut?
Yeah, that one. Those just, I'm like, we're just Oblivion? Wait, really? Pip, do you have some time to talk? Spicy. We like to gather over in Dawn's Respite together and assess the situation in which we find ourselves. Yeah, I was gone for a while. I'm sorry about that. One thing kind of led to another. I had to help with a couple things. I also had to speed down an entire well-done steak. So, I speed ran that for you, chat. Like fuck, shall we? The crisis at hand began with the sudden appearance of the ominous towers, multitude of locations throughout the world. Right, the towers as well. The structure was brought to being by an organization known as the Telephoroi. Telephoroi's stated purpose is to recreate the final days of eons past, an apocalyptic event that would result in the destruction of all we hold dear. Already have these towers of theirs been cause of untold suffering. So this is actually good. This is actually a good on-roading point because Shadowbringers into Endwalker, there was a couple months pause. This is a... I feel people could critique this, like we already went through this. Once again, pacing is important when it comes to these patches, and feature creep can feel less like feature creep when you have a chance to sit with Gabu, and oh, well, we can do this now. Oh, well, Tiamat's now just out there now, right? There's a difference in perception. Countless innocents kidnapped and imprisoned, their faith perverted for primal summonings. Unless we find a way to deal with the corruptive aura surrounding the spires, we can't ever get close to even rescue anybody. They're shielded with the blessing light, seem able to resist being tempered at least. But after what happened to Arenvald and Ferdola, we need to be very, very careful at how we proceed. No, we're in Endwalker now. Unless this is 5.55. While these...
No, this is 6.0. This is Endwalker.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Endwalker. While these threats are close to home, our paramount concern, we mustn't lose sight of the situation in Garlemald. Taking a vacation from Reaction anyways. So this is a good use of my time because I want to do Final Fantasy XIV content. I want to edit some stuff, but I need to get through Endwalker for me, my own personal, like, I've done the things kind of thing. As you know, the Telephoroi are under the leadership of Fanandiel, one of the other delightful fellows, Xenosia Galvis, Crown Prince and our dear friend. Today he's reclaimed his old body, murdered Emperor Varus, and plunged Garlemald into an even deeper pit of chaos. Capital has probably seen the worst of it for a good while now. I saw the Blaze fighting the War of Succession, but that hasn't changed in troubling ways. During our reconnaissance, the air was not once rent by barking of cannons or the cries of discord. It was an eerie fog of silence which did blanket the ruined city. The inhabitants appeared to have been tempered. An nary word was spoken. Did they labor to transfer the palace into a soaring edifice born of nightmares? They were indeed made of thralls. It would seem, if they were indeed made thralls, it would safely assume that these events too were ordered by the Telephoroi. An army of primals is awful enough, but in light of recent developments, I fear it is only a prelude to even greater catastrophe. We need to devise a means to counter this threat and quickly before allies are overwhelmed. How he came back. Xenos came back because of the Echo. Specifically his perverted artificial, taken from somebody else version, known as the Resonance. And we saw back in Heaven's Ward how the Ascians were able to... Actually, it started from ARR, right? In A Realm Reborn, we saw that the Sahagin Chief was given the Echo, or I guess he was unlocked the Echo from the Ascian. La Habrea. Was that La Habrea or was that Elidibus at that time? I think it was La Habrea. Anyways, the Ascians gave the Sahagin Chief the access to the Echo, and he was able to kind of go between bodies, right? So you had... Storm Admiral command person. She ganked the first one. His essence just went to the next one and took it over. And then we saw in Heavensward the progression of that, where the Ascians confuse into one. And we still have confirmation of that because in Hades EX, we just still have Ascian Primal. It's a callback, things that the Echo can do. We also see that via resonance, Xenos was able to throw himself inside of Shinryu. So he's able to manipulate his own essence, his own soul, so to speak, and cram it into other bodies. And then that's how he was able to get into that one guard's body. He fought Elidibus, won against, really scared Elidibus off, and then took his old body back. I totally miss Graha's line. Portion's comments regarding the final days were curious to say the least. The forum knows more than it's letting on. Sorry to interrupt. We just received word from Mistress Crouch. It says the arrangements for your visit have been finalized. Are we going to Sharlyan right off the bat? That'd be interesting. Head to Limson board the next ship bound for Sharlyan. And on arrival, present yourselves as associates of the student of Odessian. Come to assist with the Order's restoration. Which brings up my class choice. We will be bouncing between Paladin and Reaper, most likely. The arrangements need to be settled. What are your thoughts? They must race at the prospect of returning home after so long. I'm eager to see it, of course. Of course, we should set off at once. Then I'll accompany you to the docks. You need at least one person there to wave and cry and wish you a safe journey. Base Tataru. Well, this also opens up if Xenos is even taken care of in base. He could be taken care of in post. He could be 6'1". Or 6'3". He could be. Not going to fish for that information because I want to figure out where he actually pops up in the story. Because there are a number of plot points right now that are still ongoing, and it's going to be damn impressive to figure out where this actually goes. Ethernet. You have different echo abilities. Do let you view memories as if you're living other echoes, not quite. Exactly. Kryle's is a little different. Hers is a little more vague, but she's able to get a little bit more from hers in certain ways. Everyone's here, which is good because I've already paid for your passage and the fee is non-refundable. Ooh. Ship for Sharlyan should be pulling into port soon, so please follow me and have all your luggage close in hand.
Yes, make sure you have your luggage prepared.
Guess I gotta go grab my Chocobo saddlebag.
Nope, too late. Post here.
Oh shit, here it is, Dawn Trail. Boat! Boat! It's the funny! Oh, wait, hey, we haven't seen her, the person in the yellow, the small in the yellow. We haven't seen her since, like, the thief quest line. Oh my god, that's a really cool thing to notice.
They've almost finished loading
And
our
a
car.
detail most people
We
won't
should be ready to depart right on schedule, or so I'm told.
Look, sometimes I miss things, but other things I pick up on. It's really hit or miss.
Excellent. 'Tis nice to have a smooth beginning to one's journey, at the very least.
It's funny. Master Louis Soir came here on a ship very much like this one.
Boat. Ship, if you will.
And now, years later, the street urchin he befriended that day is bound for his mentor's homeland. With his mentor's grandchildren, no less.
Aye. 'Tis upon reflection that every twist of time's river and fate's whims are brought into sharp relief. Thou hast matured much in the intervening years. Wert thou not caught attempting to relieve Master Louis Soir of his purse scant moments after he made landfall upon this dock?
Nice.
Really? Now that's a tale I'd like to hear.
The sass. At the Alice sass.
Will this be your first visit to Sharlyan, Sir Estinian? Sir Estinian?
Are we strangers newly met? Why this stiff formality?
merely meant it as a professional courtesy, since we are now colleagues in an official sense.
I'd rather you dispense with the sirs, especially in private company.
I respect Estinian with this. This is
Or I'll be
great.
forced to respond in kind, little Lord Alphino.
Got him.
You've made your point,
I don't know.
Estinian.
Estinian's just
Painfully
big
well.
bro Estinian.
He is Brostinian. He's the Azure Dragoon, you know.
Better.
Except for the short stint, he wasn't.
What was it? I was thinking it was in Coffee's stream, and Estinian shows up, and me and someone else was just like, he's the Azure Dragoon. I love that this is just the meme that perpetuates.
Yes, and you can thank Joe for that.
Thanks, Drew. Thanks, Joe Cat. God, I love that man. I'm looking forward to reacting to his Omega video.
You seem positively distraught.
Distraught? Me? Don't be silly. I think it's lovely that they get to see their homeland.
Small Tataru.
It's just... we're trying to thwart the schemes of an army hellbent on destroying the world. And, once again, I have to stay behind and worry that this is the last time I'll get to see my friends.
I think Tataru underestimates how necessary the clerk and financier is. We can't do cool stuff if Tataru's out risking her life.
Yes, we can't do cool shit if this fucking Estinian is spending all of her fucking money.
Estinian
I'll hold
would.
you to that.
It would be Estinian.
Ah, good. You're still here.
I haven't seen these two in a hot minute. They look like they've aged. Looks like their models have gotten a little older, but I know
Hori! Coulternay!
they can't be, because this is only even... ARR to here is only like the span of a year canonically.
We're to assist the Maelstrom and the Kobolds with a lunar primal operation, so we thought we'd see you off before
Good old
heading to the tower.
boulder.
Dude is an absolute Chad. He looks a lot
Marine and
older.
The others wish you all a safe journey.
You got a
Promise that
haircut.
they'll look after things
Yeah.
until you return.
Sometimes you just gotta shave off all your hair. Get through some shit.
I don't know.
We
Well,
will
you gotta
too,
think,
of course.
fucking beast mode is
Aye.
literally burning your
All
life
signs
force for
of the
energy,
seventh
so
soul.
I think
Yeah.
it could be
Do our
it.
part to ensure the end of the world won't happen on our watch.
Warriors Metal AF.
We set the sail. All aboard for Sharlyan.
I was expecting Sharlyan to be the second destination, actually. I thought Towers surely would have been first.
It's time.
Then we must delay no longer. We will contact you the moment we learn aught of value. Wish us luck.
Evans was about 2 years. Okay, 1 year, okay, year and a half to 2 years. Even if we just take that as a gross approximation, I think it's accurate.
And please, be careful.
Well, it's been almost 11 years for us. You have to think these happen in rapid succession. ARR into the Dragonsong War was really sudden. Dragonsong War into Balezar's Wall into Stormblood was very sudden because of a certain sloppy masked hero. God. No, there's a lot of... Exactly. There's a lot of questions I have going into this, such as apparently, what's-his-face still being around.
Unto the unknown.
Emmett Silk.
A fate beyond the horizon that cannot be divined. A future undefined and in flux.
Who is this narrating?
In uncertain times, naught but the simplest words of wisdom will suffice.
This almost sounds like Emmett Silk. This almost sounds like him.
That which lives is destined to die. Love leads to loss. Every beginning has an end.
So back to Limsa start. Oh, I had an old off start though.
Every moment, every step of your descent.
It sounds like Emmett Silk because it is Emmett.
Is it really? Did I call that?
Yeah, you already forgot the promise you made.
Well, remember him, obviously. But this is narrating as if it was in real time.
And there, in the depths where souls and stars rest, find your truth.
I don't know. I like his voice. His voice is very iconic.
I don't know. We don't know how acid magic works. It could involve time.
It could. Time travel is confirmed with Graha Taco.
Yeah.
Look, I'm excited for Sharlyan because I need to see Y'shtola absolutely just give the entire forum a tongue lashing. That's my investment in this. That's my ticket to entry. Oh, that's a... What?
What?
Why is this song playing? That's not ominous.
Here.
It's answers, right?
Feel. Think.
Yeah, this is Bahamut. This is answers, right?
The day has barely dawned, my fellow early riser.
Not Bahamut, but
I know the theme. I can't remember it. It's answers reprise, yeah.
Envious of those still sleeping soundly, no doubt.
Wouldn't...
the reason it's familiar for you is because that's what was playing in all the major cities during the anniversary event.
I guess. No, this is what happens in Final Coil 4. The first half.
I've heard nothing
myself. No?
Oh.
In any case, I dare say the sea air will do you good. Why not join the others on deck? Sharlyan should be coming into view at any moment.
Why do I feel like I'm about to get sucker punched? I'm gonna get sucker punched. It's 1.0 ending answers the first part of it. Okay. So the 1.0 players are having flashbacks during the sequence, right? They're sweating nervously PTSD. Oh, that's rough.
Yeah. This music starts playing, we all just get PTSD from watching the fucking meteor fall.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Every 1.
Fucking Galma descend.
Every 1.0 just twitches. I'm assuming this is Heidelin. God, I can't say that because there's people that don't have background knowledge from Wondrous Tales like I do. How are we gonna tie that in?
Don't worry about that.
Well, I can ask that. I can ask that. I don't expect an answer.
Hear, feel, think.
Unless this is the core, like we're talking about Heidelin's core.
And thus do we meet face to face at last. My warrior of light, guided by the crystal.
Yeah, your plot point's gonna hurt.
After your sojourn in the first, I believe you have your answer.
She has an Ascian mask.
An understanding of what I truly am, what Heidelin has always been, a primal.
I do like, because I do like that detail. This is great. We're really going right hard out the gate.
Zodiac was created to forestall the apocalypse which threatened the ancient world, and I was brought forth to bind him. Yet 7 times now, those who would orchestrate a return to that bygone era have rejoined a shard to the god I had sundered.
Background music's a little loud.
The greater his strength grows, the swifter does mine own diminish. The power to draw your mind into the rift betwixt is no longer mine to wield.
So she's okay, so she's really nerfed right now. Holy crap.
Though it taxes me sorely, I dare not leave these words unsaid.
It could be that we have to mantle Heidelin. That could be. It's something that I'm not ruling out yet.
Of my guidance, you and your companions have accepted the burden of this star's troubled past. A conjunction has begun to form, an intertwining of your time and mine. Wheels shudder and turn. Conflict looms. Monumental. Which will decide the fate of this world and all life upon it. When you truly understand what is at stake, and your journey has prepared you to surmount the insurmountable, then shall I honor the promise made in another time, another age.
Cast your peepers to the fore, folks. Sharlyan's just over yonder.
I will not keep you further. Your traveler's heart must yearn to behold this unfamiliar land.
Because we don't know who Heidelin's core is.
And soon.
At least it wasn't revealed in the Shadowbringers post. We know Elidibus was Zodiark's core until something happened, which apparently is addressed in this expansion. Yeah, no, base 14 was rough. The reboot saved this game.
It was.
Oh, what a fine morning. Oh, still a bit stiff, though.
And a good morning to you too. Taking a look at the island already?
Then let's go. Let's go. Might still be room in the prow if we're lucky.
Ah, the sleepers have arisen.
There's the intro track. Nice.
There she is. Good old Sharlyan.
Oh, I see it.
Oh, this is gonna hurt. If we're already getting into this anime type opening. Oh, look, we're all going on an event. Oh, this is gonna hurt. This entire expansion's gonna be a ride.
And you're showing up at the perfect time to have the best fucking background track playing too.
Maybe not in Father's eyes, but we'll manage on our own, if we must.
I thought this was a static track.
You do know.
No, this area has a different track for whether it's daytime or nighttime.
Oh.
And the nighttime track is so much better in my opinion.
'Tis as Sir Estinian saith. Forget not the comrades who boarded this ship at your side. I prithee.
Thank you, my friends. We are ever grateful for your steadfast support.
Upon arrival, we will be disembarking into the heart of Sharlyan proper. There is no greater concentration of wisdom in all the world. I am confident that somewhere within that center of knowledge and learning, we will find the answers we seek.
You cut to Y'shtola too quick for the screenshot, damn it. I'm not just gonna have a random screenshot of Y'shtola. No, 1.0 still happened. There's, what, a single instance of non-continuity? But that's like the weird not Ascian Prime thing, right? The weird Reaper thingies that were at 1.0 towards the end, but that's technically not canon with the Ascian Primes. I've heard about these tangentially.
Sharlyan, the solitary island nation of the northern seas. Where under the watchful gaze of Thaliak, patron deity of scholars, academics hoard all manner of knowledge and secrets. Once, they deigned to accept foreign students into a distant colony maintained in the Dravanian hinterlands.
Right, Idleshire.
How swiftly they abandoned it once the first Garlean boot set hostile foot on Ala Megan soil.
The events of 1.0 lead into A Realm Reborn,
So
yes.
averse to the prosecution of war, these men of wisdom, your would-be allies.
I thought they'd never let us off the ship. What's next then? Entry applications?
Hopefully they find no cause to deny us.
Hasn't Sharlyan orbit severed relations with foreign powers? Those of us without direct ties, myself included, may be refused outright.
'Tis true that, as a nation, Sharlyan only forms trade agreements with a select few neutral countries. But from a practical standpoint, an island cannot afford to be overly strict with its borders. Especially not if that island's people are wholly devoted to the accumulation of knowledge. If one submits the proper paperwork, with satisfactory evidence of identity and intent, then foreigners may be granted entry.
May.
May is the keyword there, yes.
Quite. So let us be absolutely clear on these points before we proceed. The immigration officer will ask for your affiliation and your purpose of visit. Considering Sharlyan's views on intervention, I strongly suggest we avoid any mention of the Scions. Crown has laid the groundwork for us to act as associates of the students of Baldessian, and our ostensible reason for being here is to aid in their order's restoration.
Justinian and Kip, aren't we technically the Violence Committee? Yes, we are basically the Violence Committee, yes. Okay, why is the soundtrack going this hard?
Expedite our progress should an actual student be seen at the head of our little group.
Like, why that loud or
Would you
just
mind leading
going
the way?
hard?
It's going hard. Like, it's great. A little loud in some places, but that's not really... No, like, this soundtrack so far is banger.
Of course. The immigration officers were this way, as I recall. Shall we?
Look, at least I'm not a warrior. I feel that would just confuse everyone in Sharlyan.
Yeah.
So good as a beast.
Greetings. We've just arrived and
Yeah.
are eager to make our way into the city. Would you be so kind
Small,
as to process
small,
our entry?
small, small. Small alert. Small with... Ah! How is small standing that tall?
Certainly.
So.
I see by your mark you are an Archon.
Did you get that small fella steppy stool?
Baldessian at your service. I was assigned to an Eorzean survey team, but have returned to assist with the reformation of my order. My associates here will provide additional support.
It's a scythe. No. Yeah, it is a scythe. I'm a botanist.
Gardener.
That's some like Japan, like feudal Japan type logic. I want you to understand that. No. It's a comma. I used it to cut grass. Why does it have chain on it? I used it to cut grass. It's fine. So I just said wait down a little bit for comfort. I'm not a ninja, I promise. Ninjas don't exist.
I just cut bamboo, and the chain's there to help all bamboo.
Yeah. Oh, this is perfect. This is Anne farming tool.
Very good. I have paperwork detailing your group
And
and
farming
its
tool.
scheduled
I hit
arrival
myself in
for
the
today.
face with a few times.
That's a mood.
And it seems some few of your companions are also Archons. If you'll step forward, we can process those applications first.
Reaper is just angry gardener. Yes.
Yeah.
I think I'm.
It's follow rule.
I think I might fight what's his face using a scythe. I think I might. We'll see how I'm feeling when I get to that point.
See how it glows. That list is etherically linked with a citizen registry kept in the main repository.
Oh, interesting.
I've confirmed your status as Archons and amended your travel records accordingly. Welcome home.
Nice.
Now, who do we have here?
Oh, please tell me they're not going to use their old last names. Please tell me they're going to make up a new last name. Please tell me. I need this.
Alphino Leveilleur.
Technically they were stricken from Levier status, though. They were ousted.
Your applications have also been approved. Having said that,
Uh-huh.
The streets are abuzz with talk of how House Leveilleur's lord disowned his young progeny.
Oh, those are rumors. You can't ask me that. That's a protected status. Call an OSHA. Wait, that's not OSHA. Who is that? HR?
And while such personal circumstances constitute no reason to deny you entry, I urge you to avoid exacerbating your present situation.
Yeah.
Times are quite troubled enough already.
Mood. Love her. That could have gone so much worse.
We shall keep that in mind.
I don't think he did talk to their mom, did he? Oh my god. Yeah, so honey, I disowned the kids.
Disowned the kids.
You will find their credentials are in order. An application was made in advance.
Oh god, that's gonna be a fun story. We are the violence committee. Yes, point us to the problem.
Name and occupation?
Dingus. Dingus McBingus.
We got Bingus and Bongus over here.
It's a fuck. Actually, wait a minute. Is artisan? Wait. How did I get artisan? What are they, I'm trying to figure out what these choices are based off of. Adventurer by trade.
Default.
Yeah.
Artisan is for having a crafter at a suitable level to be here.
Cool. I don't know how that works because my goldsmith is like 60. If that. You know what? Fair. Artisans, let's go. I craft things.
I think there's like up to 5 that you're able to do.
Indeed.
Or unlock
Your
something like that.
profile describes you as an adventurer, but one also trained in the rather more constructive pursuits of procurement and production. You may enter.
Sometimes a fishing boat leaves and I get funny levels about
And you,
it.
sir?
Estinian Varlino, formerly of the Order of the Knights Dragoon in Ishgard.
Varlino. I did not expect his last name to be that.
Formally, at least. And what, pray tell, is your profession now?
I don't have a crafter at 80. That's my
It's a
issue.
gatherer, it ties on.
Oh, okay.
If you
Yeah.
allow me,
I actually just hit 80 Fisher today. What are the odds?
Hey, Crow.
Kryl has shown up. Wild Kryl appears.
My associate is a mercenary, hired for his strength at arms. Surely you are aware of the dangers we often face on our forays into the wilderness.
Mistress Baldessian, if you insist on sponsoring his entry, then so be it. But while I appreciate that desperate times call for desperate measures, I find your choice of company concerning. Be advised that even a single misstep may have severe repercussions for your organization.
So what are the other two options I didn't have?
I have every confidence in my chosen company. Dear and trusted comrades.
So if there's
as
up to
they are.
5 options for
But
that,
I thank you for your concern.
what were the other two? Was one of them like a Eurekan title or something? Like a Eurekan dialogue thing?
I have no idea. I know I had 4. And then the spacing makes it feel like there should be another one.
Right. So I'm missing something. It's Adventurer, Champion of Eorzea, Artisan, and 2 more.
It is good to see you.
Likewise. Long voyage notwithstanding, you will seem none the worse for wear. There is much to discuss, but this is hardly the place. Let's be on our way, shall we?
Brostinian, just broing out.
Oh! Welcome, friends, to Sharlyan.
As your mercenary, I should hope my welcome includes a generous salary.
Got him.
Well, I had to say something, Sir Taciturn.
Took to sail. I don't know if we have the length of time that the voyage took. That has spotted your ship coming into port. The officers are born bureaucrats and sticklers for detail. In any case, you may relax, take a moment to get your land legs back. Yeah, 448,000 for the first quest. I'm going to be leveling up pretty quickly. Thought to launch directly an explanation of what I've learned and how we might proceed. This is Kip and Destinian's first time in Sharlyan, and for the rest of you, it's a homecoming that was long overdue. You must have places you wish to visit and people you're dying to see, therefore I propose we postpone our agenda so that you may have sufficient time to recover for your journey, get your bearings in the city. Once you settle in, we can reconvene at the Baldesion Annex. How does that sound? This is a fine suggestion. We may not be welcome at the Livier estate as such, but I should like to know is around the neighborhood all the same. Equally untethered as it were, there's no particular place that my kin call home. Still, I would not possibly have the opportunity to reacquaint myself with the city. Likewise, a quick tour of old haunts might even yield some useful gossip. Tancred, you're back. Why are you back? Don't worry about why I'm back. What's happened? What's poppin'? Annex was left the Aetheryte Plaza, was it not? Should join you there and on. See you there. A ship all day, arriving morning, let out at night. Yeah. A few days, most probably. 2, have places I would be remiss if not visited forthwith. By thy leave. Grahataku. Where are you going? What have you used to name my services as a guide or yours for the asking? That will be necessary until we reconvene. I prefer to wander as the wind takes me. But I could, oh. Well, Raha, would you like to join us then? You've been going for quite a while, and this would be a perfect way to refresh those dusty old memories of yours. Of course, if you will have me. Sharlyan awaits. I kind of like the Greek-inspired Sharlyan, actually. Unless this is meant to be Rome. The architecture is very... It might be Roman, actually. Because... I don't know, it's strange. Because we got a lot of Greek-inspired stuff last expansion, so this might actually be Rome. More intent to follow your lead. Grahati is now a company. Ha! It's the meme! You may decide in order to proceed with quest objectives. The event you use the Ethernet Gratiot will catch up to you as long as you remain in the same area. You leave Gratiot behind, however, entering a different area. You may also speak to him and select the option to part ways. If you wish to have Gratiot accompany you again, return and speak to your location. Gratiot is accompanying you. Try speaking with Gryle. Many memes were born this day. Greco-Roman. But, I mean, it's different than the Sin Eaters in Vothri, so that's why I say Roman specifically. Like doing the final run up to Vothri, up to Innocence, right? That was very Roman-inspired. Or very Greek-inspired. Let's be on our way. First stop using enough will be the last stand, which is cafe to the west side of the harbor. Accompany you, lead your 2 companions in the last stand, or to the last stand, speak with Cryle at Disney location. Company may encounter conversation points along the way, such as topics of discussion. Enter the glowing area and speak with your quest companions to initiate these bonus conversations. What an interesting mechanic. Okay. I mean, it's an interactive way of doing the tour. I kind of dig it. All the unusual wares coming and going at all hours with the assistance of an intrepid adventurer would be highly appreciated. No reason why you wouldn't undertake any tasks which pique your interest. You have been cleared by the immigration officials after all. Though your name is celebrated in Sharlyan the same way it is in Eorzea. It's called the Peristyle, and it's the first step on our cargo unloaded at the docks. You'll find the usual necessities for daily living and other imports vital to running an island nation, but other supplies that further Sharlyan's pursuit of knowledge, namely large quantities of books, specimens, and samples. Sorting these stacks certainly seems to keep the attendants busy. Or Graha wouldn't change elevations. They say he went down. He'd made it the elevation, but still follow you. Oh my god. Release Endwalker sounds like it was a time. In the site, I could hardly forget the great statue of Thaliak. Student of Baldesion, it was usually quartered on the Isle of All, but to gaze at the scholars' wise speeches every time I returned my ship to the city. Path leading down towards the sea is known as the Thaliak Stoa, so named to the statue of the scholar stands at its end. And the Sharlyan people prize accumulation of wisdom above all else, thus Thalik was chosen our patron deity. More of a manner of pragmatism than belief, and alignment of principles, as it were, may have honored him with a rather impressive sculpture, yes, but our faith is not so restrictive that, say, as that of, say, these guardians, individual Sharlyans can and do worship other divinities of their choosing. Huh, neat. The Last Stand may have mentioned before, but although our research into nutrition and food preparation is quite extensive, the average Sharlayan tends to regard seasoning and flavor with a certain indifference. Oh no, they're the British. How do I put this? The food is, it's bland, as encapsulated by our infamous Archon loaf. The prevailing sentiment towards cuisine is dietary value first and taste distant second. Oh no, this would be awful.
Archon loaf.
When are you making Archon loaf, by the way?
I have made it. It is dry.
Was it good, though?
No.
Was it nutritional? Like, at all?
Yeah.
See, that's what matters.
There's vegetables in it.
Gross. Sounds rough. When people at the studio, however, who couldn't stomach the school's insipid meals no longer, so he quit his lessons and poured all of his savings into building a proper eatery. Nice. The Last Stand came to be. It implies the sole dedicated outpost to the fine dining in Sharlyan, the one and only bastion of the culinary arts in this isle is otherwise mediocre. Seem to recall their burger being hailed as one of the more impressive items on the menu, not that I ever had the pleasure of eating one myself. Because you are a typical Sharlyan when it came to cheap and convenient raha, but surely Tatar has since taught you to appreciate a well-prepared dish. We should all stop when time permits and sample the cafe's delights. Shall we press on the stairs beside the cafe? That will take us up to the Aetheryte Plaza. Rev, go do P4. Jay says the P4 helmet. Why don't you have the P4 helmet?
Jay doesn't have the P4 helmet.
Oh, fuck. I just assume they're all the goddamn same. I don't know. I joke, but I'm really not into the, I'm really not digging the, like, that entire raid series armors or weapons. Like, they feel like they could have been better.
No, fucking P4 would be the shitty armor set that I sent you the other night.
Yeah, that one.
Fucking, that would be P8.
Oh.
Is the gear that I sent you last night.
Oh, the basic helm. Usual shape, isn't it? I assure you, however, it's perfectly functioning Aetheryte. Remember to attune yourself before I move on. Hint, hint. Not being a diligent tour guide that I am, I should make mention of the confluence. A research facility located on this very plaza, its much vaunted discoveries are the reason Sharlyan stands in the forefront of the teleportation technology. Deciphering the underlying principles of the Alagon Aetherites allowed us to understand and reconstruct what was essentially a lost art. Off we go to the next destination path, leads northeast to the Agora, Sharlyan's largest marketplace. Okay, I need to, like, actually attune to some of these, though. Gonna make my life way fucking easier. Axe. Has flaming ears horns. It's great.
I still like my one from the dungeon more. Nope, I've only got 3 options. So I guess there was only 2.
We will be visiting the studio later. I can already fucking tell. Fine. So we're probably gonna go this way and make our loop back around, if I had to guess what they were designing. We get to make Arcania bread? Oh no. Seeking Aetherites, these teleportation fees do add up after a while, which is why I tend to rely on the far cheaper ferry services. It's pleasantly surprised when Mr. Tartar informed me that the Scions are reimbursed for transportation costs as part of our duties, but I find old habits hard to break that, and I'd rather not be bothered filling out the necessary paperwork. The entrance to the confluence. No doubt the expertise will prove useful at some point, so I just remember the way here. Okay, I will totally forget the confluence at some point. It's a market board. Do you mind if I browse the shelves for a moment? There might be some hidden gems I've yet to read. Only a moment. How optimistic. Feel free to browse how you like, but we won't wait around for you. Perhaps I'll return here later then. Aw, sad boy Tia. Little open-air bookstalls are uniquely Sharlyan. I always thought them a common sight until I visited the other nations. I think it only has a 20-second cooldown. It's fucking wild to me.
Dash?
Yeah. Welcome to the Agora, where you can find wares made in Sharlyan, as well as a wide selection of imported goods. They also sell questionable prototypes from various research institutes, but I think Rax has thankfully died out for the most part. Otherwise, I think no better place to stock up for your next big adventure. Am I overselling it? On a more serious note, next stop on our tour is one which has particularly relevance to our ultimate purpose here. You must head back to the Aetheryte Plaza. Follow me, follow the path north, and then climb the stairs until the imposing building at the top. I mean, realistically, I'm getting to that point. At some point, I'm just gonna do a call out. Hey, when are we doing Pandemonium Savage? Little decorative features are typical of Sharlayan architecture. Aside from the research wing, our headquarters in the Isle of Owl are simplistic and rustic by comparison. Nymphaeum, an area dedicated to blessings of water. Sharlayan's water represents more than a life-sustaining liquid. It's not a reminder of the great. It is a reminder of the great flood which precipitated the birth of our nation, as well as a symbol of knowledge which flows from Thalax's divine ewer. This is the reason you see an abundance of fountains throughout the city, and a principle of utilizing water as a decorative feature in our architecture. I dig it. Yeah, Rev, when are you doing PS?
I can't say what I'm going to say on Twitch.
You are dead, by the way. Your mic is just gone.
I had to turn myself up because I was down because I was really loud on stream. So I turned myself back up.
First of all, the name refers to the original public platform erect here, which is a forum of elected representatives who orations debate policy. Sage has since involved in council chambers. The nature of the forum and duties of its members remain largely unchanged. Boring, you seem awfully distracted. From here, one can see the entire city spread below. This put me in mind of arrival at the first. Those who had gathered at the Crystal Tower asked me how I might go about building a new home. Naturally, my answers were all inspired by my knowledge of the finest settlements I could think of, the great city of Sharlayan. Bit by bit, those buildings grew into a town and a community. The Crystarium, I can almost see its echo. See, feel free to come up here whenever you wish. I don't think the councilors object to you simply enjoying the view. Such memories should be treasured. For now, however, the tour must go on. Our spectacle sightseeing concludes with the fitting named Journey's End. Walk down the stairs to the east. Continue straight ahead. The image is lighting up, right? Which is why I said.
Yeah, I'm aware. I fixed it.
Yeah, Rev can't say on Twitch his answer to why he's not doing PS.
Yeah.
I say it's fine until I get there and throw a controller across the room.
Yep. I can't stand Endwalker's fucking regular raid series, so I refuse to fucking do it.
Fair enough. I mean, you don't. As it turns out, raiding is optional content in this game. History tells us this is those who put ashore the Archon Incorrupt who built the first homes. On this present day, serves as a residence district for the most important officials and oldest Sharlayan families. C1 mansion is clearly larger than the neighbors. That estate belongs to our friends of House Levier. All things considered, we should probably keep our distance for the time being. And with that, we bring our little Sharlayan tour to a close. I hope it's proven to be an entertaining and enlightening experience. Head directly to the Baldesian Annex. You remember the way, don't you, Raha? I think we head down towards the harbor, cross the bridge to our right, follow the path through the Aetheryte Plaza. Do you? I've watched Nest do it. I don't know who Nest is.
That's Whoops. That's Whoops, Drextian, Spoofy.
Big group, got it.
Yeah. All streamers. And YouTubers.
I don't know. Like, I'm fine once I know mechanics and stuff. Whether that's me just sitting there and watching a video on how it actually works and then just doing it.
No, fucking Endwalker Ranger running the most static, so I hate them.
To be fair, yeah, it's killed 2 statics for you, in all fairness. Across the bridge here, as I recall, take this path and be careful not to end up back in the Aetherite Plaza. It's full of educational and research institutions. There are still professors who prefer to establish their own private practices. Never attend such exclusive schools they run in these residences. Perhaps the twins could tell you more about them. I did like that it looped you through all the Aetherites except for that leftmost one, but that's gonna be where we're going anyways. I do like that they have that that friendly design. I think that was a good call. Now it's night. It's a big fuck off city. What do you?
Well, we got here at 6 p.m. It's now. Or no, it was 8 p.m. in game. It is now 3 a.m.
To be fair, I also didn't have to go through this dialogue. I wanted to go through it.
Yes.
Like, I chose to do this. Like, this is all optional. Ghost things like Roz's face is undoubtedly inform you. This is the Baldisian Annex. You continue up the hill, you arrive at the doorstep of the Phenomenon. I think we've explored enough for one day. We can take you there another time. Side with you then. Oh. To 3 most of the time. Right. Rule of 3. It's good enough for retention. It's few enough, but vast enough. Back in the butt, Kip and Raha with me. Is this... Wait a minute. This is the person from Eureka, right? The Thaumaturge dude? The one that was bullying Kryl, right? This is the person? Pleasure finally meet you. I've heard many tales about your exploits. About Eureka? I would assume so, but I got to Pagos. So I've gotten to 2. I haven't progressed anything enough to actually do anything. Not the same? Okay, surprise. Okay, something different then. Okija Sunjinka. I thought it. Introduce administration officer for the students of Odessian. Oversees day-to-day business for the Annex. You may recall meeting his cousin. Oh, it's Ajika, his cousin. Okay. Oh, yes, Eureka. I've read the... There it is. Okay, there it is. Cousins. Read the initial reports. Quite a shock to hear what's become of the Isle. Do take care if you have an opportunity to rejoin the expedition, because I've got to Pagos. The place is like a second home to the students. The Isle of Val served as our main headquarters. Of course, we often occasion to visit Sharlyan. Whether we make use of the city's research facilities, attended conferences, or procure supplies from distant shores. And then the Annex was built to provide lodgings for our members while we engage in such activities. Ever since our former headquarters along the Isle itself vanished, Annex itself served our base of operations. Yet it feels so empty. We're many not lost to its organization that shell of our former self. They will come when we need to see the students rise again. That could be, if that's not addressed in this, it could be Dontrail. Just ensure the Telephoroi fall. Baldesian 2.0 Boogaloo. Through the door that's left there at the main hall, we can discuss our options moving forward. 3rd longest I spent in Eureka. I mean, I just need to hit Fates. The issue is that I made one wrong turn. It was like a level 40 dragon there, and I'm just like, I'm not dealing with this today. 7 arrives, that is.
Wrong turn.
Yeah, don't take a wrong turn. It's fine. Just don't take a wrong turn. It's time to rest before your discussion begins in earnest. Headbrow, of course, prepared for you and the Andron, so please feel free to make yourself at home. The nap room's perfect for an afternoon doze. They'll attack you if you RP walk. I need to figure that out. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to toggle. Didn't mean to give you the wrong impression. Chambers are quite well appointed so far. Some cheap roadside inn, you may be assured. Simply that we are often so busy with research, the exhausted from journeys abroad, slip into the Andron just for a few weeks, and thus they became known amongst the students as nap rooms, even if many such nap rooms might last well into the following morning. Say the word, and be happy to show you to your chamber. That's on the numpad. Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be too long coming. I'll wait for you at main hall. That might become a problem if I have to do VTuber stuff because I think I have that bound. Maybe I do, maybe I don't, actually. The sassy walk. Okay, there it is. No, it doesn't mess with anything. Cool. Awesome. Key binding does not conflict. Feeling refreshed and alert, our colleagues should be wandering in soon. As we stay here and wait for them to join us. What a neat little introduction to Sharlyan, actually. He doth return.
Pray forgive me. I was delayed.
Striking conversation.
Fine, we're all here now.
Let's get down to business then, shall we? Come what may, we must prevent the Telephoroi's plans from coming to fruition. At present, I see two paths for gathering the information which may aid us in achieving that goal.
Oh no.
The first involves an investigation into the change which has come over Sharlyan, not to mention the recent inscrutable behavior of the Forum. As most of you know, the 99 members of the Forum are elected from the general populace. This alone guarantees a plethora of opinion with regards to foreign policy. The bibliotheques, for example, are a group of conservatives which would have Sharlyan focus on recording history,
Excuse me.
while remaining entirely uninvolved in the making of it.
Of course they're called
And at the
bibliotheques.
other extreme, we have advocates for proactive diplomacy and direct intervention. My grandfather Galef was one such member, as was Archon Louisois. Yet despite our diverse factions and philosophies, the recent vote to deny Eorzea's request for assistance was unanimous.
Right.
Even more concerning was the fact that many cited other, more pressing duties as justification for their recalcitrance.
Fortuno's refusal in Gridania had those same undertones. 'Twas as if, having stared unblinking into the face of impending doom, it simply turned away to pursue something more important. But what could that possibly be?
A mystery indeed, and one which I ask for your help to solve. Our future may depend on it. As for our second potential path, it concerns a request made directly to the students of Baldessian. Our organization was founded primarily to study strange and unexplained phenomena.
Is that the Crystal
the world
Tower? That's the
over.
Crystal Tower.
Mysterious relics and ruins, arcane disturbances, and so forth. Compared to our more isolationist Sharlyan colleagues, we have strong connections overseas, namely with scholars and academics who share our passion for the unknown. The request in question comes from one such acquaintance, Nidana, an alchemist residing in distant Thavnair. Her missive describes the sudden appearance of a tower, and the subsequent summoning of what I can only assume is a lunar primal. In response to this threat, the satrap of Radzat-Han, the individual who governs the city-state, has instructed the alchemists to find a means to deal with the spire.
The artisans of that land are heirs to an ancient tradition, one rather unlike that of their Uldan counterparts. 'Tis possible, nay, probable, that they have gleaned truths unattainable by Eorzea or her Far Eastern allies.
They do, in fact, appear to have a strategy in mind, though it will require further research. To that end, they have requested an introduction to a capable warrior shielded by the blessing of light.
Assuming we divide our forces to pursue both of Kral's lines of inquiry, then having you join the group heading to Thavnair would seem the obvious choice.
Oh, okay. That's gonna be the interesting looking one, the Persian looking one.
but the investigation in Sharlyan is of vital importance as well. Equal, I think, to the Thavnarian one, given that the fate of the world may hinge on the results of both.
Yes, it is quite the quandary. Though it is a great imposition and an altogether too common one, our efforts would be more likely to succeed were you to lead the charge on both fronts.
Here's the split quest line.
You are indeed our champion. As to which task to tackle first, we will defer to your decision. Let us next decide how everyone else might best be assigned. As for myself, I shall continue what I've begun in Sharlyan. I should also like to steal the services of an Archon or two.
And thereby gain access to a greater range of reading material. I will help with that.
Allow me to offer my assistance. I have some small amount of experience in the field of research.
Alize and I would also like to help, if you would have us.
Anything to understand even a fraction of what our father and the Forum might be thinking.
Of course, the more the merrier.
Right. The rest of us will make the journey to Thavner. Thoughts? Objections?
I passed through Thavner on my way to infiltrate the Empire, and though I'm not qualified to give a guided tour, I did gain a sense of where things lie.
I'll be happy to have you along then. So for this group, it will be you, me, and Urianger.
Give me a moment afterwards, and I'll supply you with all the details of Nadana's request. Consider this hall our rendezvous point once our respective tasks are complete. May our investigations prove fruitful.
Well, it's because every expansion has done this at this point. You have Heaven's Ward that split off between the House Fortom brothers. You have Stormblood, which this was both the northern Alamegan region, and then there was the other one back in the Peaks, I think. And then Shadowbringers also had a split. Like, every expansion does this at the beginning. It just has that split of you do 2 quest lines, and then they'll reconverge into one. I guess it also is a good way to set up certain events across across a wide area. Yeah, it's standard. Until changes come over Sharlyan, but together we will divine the underlying cause for the Forum's callousness. Mentioned before, however, questioning the councils directly is a fruitless endeavor. They seem to have already come to a consensus as to what and how little they are willing to divulge. Despite begin scouring the Sharlayan's archives and historicals for any hint of a connection to the final days. So I'd say the progress has been slow. There are so many dusty pages once it's skim a day, but now I've had this band of willing reinforcements. There should be proceed all the swifter. Let's remain outside the Numinian, shall we? Exit the annex to the right, and you'll find the archives on the western edge of the woods. With the alchemist, the other is reading books to find information. Right. I'll probably do Kryle's quest chain first, and then I'll go with the Thavnir quest line. Kryle's instructions in hand. If you're ready to set out, then so are we. Having been to Thavnir before, I can travel to Aetheryte, but the rest of you, another sea voyage would be a waste of time we do not have. I was in the same mind, already secured aid of good folk of the Confluence. Take ourselves there. The Confluence, thou sayest. Oh no. Afraid so, my friend. Thus we'll call the hunt for Iceheart, whose sanctuary delivered the owing not the knowledge of Carmen Rebrida. Where does the authority in Aetherology, a field of study she did embark upon in pursuit of her parents' example? Both are authorities in their own right, and both are researchers at the Confluence. Haven't gone to see them yet. Meant to do so early, but my shame, my courage failed me at the last. as it hath many times I thought to reach out to them after sending that fateful letter. Neither time nor introspection hath revealed to me the words I should speak, and thus I have kept my silence. Whether you came with us or not is your choice and yours alone. If it is too difficult, we'll manage. Thou art kind to say so, but I have no intention of forsaking our cause. I shall go to the confluence, and I shall face what I hath long been overdue. All said, and let's be off. When we arrive, we should look for a researcher named Kayet. Cool, now that we've picked both of those up. See people have creep. Oh, 100% is. No, like 14 handles a lot of these things very, very well. Tell me again. It's not an easy thing. See that, Diadokos. And that should be every etherite. Hey, there's all the shards. We're gonna see. I'm very curious because I mean I hit 86 today. I mean we're really kind of going ham into the levels. Oh, around the side. Instructions reason have to follow, I hope, and in case you now stand up for the doors of the Numidian, or Numinon, Sharlayan's greatest collection of books and tomes. The building is actually only the entrance, and one many at that, for the archives of Numinon extend deep beneath the surface like roots of a tree. The vast halls of the great Google Library pale in comparison to the Numidion's endless maze of subterranean chambers. So this was where Grahatia was in the introduction. Okay. Any citizen of Sharlyan is free to enter and peruse its shelves. Well, most of its shelves. Only Archons can afford access to certain restricted vaults. Dispatch your Stola and Raha to escape those. Meanwhile, I'll say and often will keep me continued with the stacks upon the general public. Status. Your status prevents more of a problem. As a non-citizen, you're only permitted to browse the first floor here at the entrance, even though there should be a number of books worth upon touching upon Sharlayan history of the foreign policy. Tasks will be to find and study the relevant publications. I promise you, a working knowledge of the subject will make it far easier to spot sort of clues we're looking for. Let's be about it then, shall we? I have told the others to meet us at the stone benches over there once they found the promising tones. Happy reading. A little funny. You expect me to look at things? You expect me to see? Yeah, that goes down really far. Island, Northern Sea, lived Rognan man by the name of Nkremp, was a student of astrology and divined a flood of terrifying portions was soon over the lands of Eorzea, so as he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for the Imperial realm. Friar foretold, and to their horror, the strange and training waters drove people towards the ocean. It was there, however, Kremp's crew hauled themselves aboard his ark. Danger had not passed. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel to pieces. One spare, with a mighty spell of teleportation, shifted the entire ship safely atop Bothia's spine, which in the surrounding region huddled there alongside them, but it was not long before disputes over the supply of food led to violence and bloodshed. Sad of a sight, Kremp gathered him, his crew, and his grateful passengers, and abandoned the ark to those reddened peaks. The journey to the coast, where they built a new ship, intent on returning to the northern seas. Landed on a beach of an island, settled upon that very spot. The settlement prospered and grew, became the city of Sharlyan, lives to this day. Okay, hence their aversion to conflict. Many years ago, thanks to the Thaliak and Giovanni hinterlands, a Sharlayan colony once thrived. Settlement was originally established as a mere outpost, studying ethereal sea. In the year of 1311 in the 6th Astral Era, scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting, and their demands encouraged a gradual expansion of structures and services. rumors spread of the growing community of academics. The area was further inundated with Eorzean students hoping to share their renowned wisdom of the Sharlyans. 50 years later, the Forum passed a motion to recognize what had become a flourishing town, a special Sharlayan colony. Eorzean residents took to calling colony itself Sharlyan, which led to no small amount of confusion. Discussions turned the subject to the motherland. In response, some Sharlayan inhabitants pressed for a name would simply refer to it as the Emporium. Following the Exodus, however, goblins and treasure hunters claimed that for themselves. The corner of the Ben colony gave another name, Idleshire. Chapters introduced the most prominent features of Idleshire. The book does not appear to contain additional information on the Forum or cover the history of Sharlayan motherland in greater detail. The years that followed the founding of Sharlayan, civic policy, and other matters of import resided in the Ecclesia, a public forum which every citizen was eligible to speak. As these population grew, however, this forum became increasingly impractical. The larger number of participants gave rise to ever longer debates, resulting in significant delays of vital resolutions. Various measures were introduced in an attempt to curtail production of discussion, but in the year 201 of the Sixth Astral Era was ultimately decreed that Sharlayan would transition to a new form of governance. The nation would be led by a body of 99 members, citizens chosen from amongst their peers by means of nationwide vote. Thus was the form we know today as conceived and created. I mean, that is a good thing. It's a good thing to bring up. How do you, once you reach a certain population cap, how do you make everyone heard? Or what's the best thing? Do you choose representatives, right? These are all things to consider. Skies above and contemplated the many mysteries contained therein. I speak not of shifting cloud patterns, but the vastness beyond the sun and the tapestry of the night. Some thinking the dome above us in a finite space yet amongst the leading thinkers of rage. Our scholars' fiction of a boundless sea of stars has firmly taken root. This heavenly sea remained unreachable, unknowable destination. There are few, indeed, who can explain in soundtrack detail why our own star is believed to revolve around the sun. Technologists Alag, who came closest to understanding the laws which govern the starry abyss. It was those who launched Dalamud, sought to expand beyond our earthbound existence, read through their ancient ambitions. I wonder, has your interest in this field of study waxed or waned? I tell you, the eternal constellations were arranged differently in the distant past, and their positions continue to shift almost imperceptibly but measurably as we journey into the future. Would it shock you to learn that the star drifts further and further apart, may indeed do so far? Are you eager to learn more? No history. It's an interesting book, though. Love the secret of knowledge. Have you ever put learning before your health and neglected to feed the rest of your body as you should? I too once engaged such full practice, but one night engrossed in philosophy, I had an epiphany. Other world's mysteries that drive us to reckless abandon. We have so very few years of life which to achieve our goals. Thus do I share with you this mantra. I'm forever 20 summers young. Number itself is important. You can be 19 or 23 or 40. Whatever age you are when you discover this manual, let that be your age you aspire to remain. Mindful, healthy living you will extend. Time available will spend upon your chosen research. Another day, another moon, another summer. Congrats to your education you could pursue. Pages that follow, we will explore the secrets of maintaining one's physical condition from biological, ethereal, and arcane viewpoint. What an interesting, like, concept, actually. Is that a small or an automaton? Yeah, it's an automaton. It's a mammoth. I was like, that moved a little fast for a small. During the Chaos of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, Archon Nimkrump, founder of Sharlyan, bore witness to the madness and savagery men brought to the brink of despair. Upon raising a settlement on an island in northern Empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. Sharlyans took to heart the wisdom of their savior and therefore served as stewards of wisdom. Upon a foundation of accumulated learning, they built a homeland unlike any other, a nation born from strength of minds rather than strength of arms. Knowledge and economics came shrewd trading. Knowledge of agriculture came bountiful crops. Engineering brought wells and sewers, and ink swabbles over water. Both of expertise could be bartered over wealth and coin, and more their wisdom spread throughout the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. And so it was no matter trials and tribulations the aged citizens would live by their founders' teaching. For the sake of a better tomorrow, for the sake of a brighter star, they would eschew the tools of war with knowledge to deliver the world. It's interesting to see how this story is going to develop, actually, with all of the subtext we're gaining through this. 18 plus books, probably. We're sorry you're waiting long. Weren't even picture books. I want to make sure I'd borrow at least a few promising volumes. Alpha Known Cross should be along shortly. It was delayed in a similar fashion. As far as I could see, no titles in the Archon stacks mentioned the final days specifically, so we have no choice but to start from the tangentially relevant tomes, if they are even that. At present, the plan is to skim through as quickly as we dare, share discoveries as we make them. It'd been nice to invite everyone into the estate. Plenty of comfortable places to read and a supply of hot tea. Always quite fond of reading outside. It's not about a little pleasure that you miss your home. Been difficult. After arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family service and ask how things were. It seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alpha and I were to return to Shrine, we were not to be allowed across the threshold, which, I mean, makes sense. Harsh measure indeed. I hope that our efforts to understand his position in the forum must lead to reconciliation. Been thrift one day, I'm certain of it. And what have you, Graha? Have you been to visit your family, or do not live here in the city? Well, the situation is somewhat complicated. I was raised in Sharlyan, yes, but I was born rather further away. Southern regions of Yosselbard. In fact, for generations, my people have dealt in Corvos, coastal region opposite the island of Thavenir. Alagons founded a city of fertile land, and by ship brought the subjugated tribes of the Mikote to serve as laborers. Of course, the massive earthquakes in the Fourth Umbral Calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign, and when the Fifth Calamity froze the sea solid, many of the tribes still living in Corvos braved the journey back to Eorzea, so chose to remain, that they might prevent the remnants of the Algon technology from being misused. Corvos under Garlean rule? Past 50 years, yes, some semblance of local culture remains, as it is the case for most imperial provinces, but Garlemald renamed the region Locus Amoinus. I'm going to presume that's correct. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, the nobles of House Darnus. Like Nail Van Darnus? House Darnus demonstrated a single interest in Algon civilization, and so I was forced to consider a plan of action. Sometime already voices had been raised in favor of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the Algon no longer passed to our eldest children as reliably as it once had. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made, prioritizing knowledge of the traditions of Alag. As the last child born with the Algon I was given over to the custody of friends and the students of Odessian, who had me registered as a Sharlayan citizen. Never once considered, forgive me, it's an unkind question. Even Thancred was taken in by the Archon Louis saw, was he not? Stories of adopted wives and rescued orphans are more often among Sharlayans than you might think. Yet regardless of our origins, we are providing with an equal opportunity to learn. Sufficient perspicacity, we outsiders can even earn the vaunted title of Archon. Exactly why I have such a love for this country and why I wish to remain a nation of which citizens can be proud. You're here. Another good reason to get the bottom of the forum, stubbornness aside from the trifling matter of our pending doom. Use this while we try to make some headway in these books. More companies should be arriving any moment now. Darnus instilling us the White Ravens, right? That fight, oof. Return to our selections. Although I must say the pickings were quite slim indeed, Mrs. Crow has already flickered through every history book devoted to disasters and more, few which barely made a mention of them. As such, we will be looking to research papers on the Umbral Calamities, as well as articles written by prominent forum members. Perhaps their knowledge in the final days comes at an unexpected source. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? The only one who didn't witness the events of Amara firsthand, and fear I might be overlooking critical details. Now, where to begin? What kind of phenomena did the ancients encounter as the final days drew nigh? I believe Hydael and Zodiac were summoned after the final days that arrived quite deliberately, in fact. Or speaking of phenomena caused by the final days, the chaos of the creation magic's running rampant. What first comes to mind, fear and despair manifested in terrible, tangible fashion, meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the grounds, indescribable abominations prowling the streets. more or less aligns with my understanding. If the arts of the creation had survived until the present day, might have had some substantially analyzed. To the best of our knowledge, however, these techniques were not preserved or passed on. Eustola surmises the closest known magic of the summoning rituals coming by the Asians, which is odd. Was there aught else to note which heralded the approach of the final days? I think you might be assuming, as I call it, was more of a gradual spread. The Moratine spoke with a keening sound that rose from the land itself just before a region was visited by a catastrophe. We never did hear this sound ourselves, those who, of course, thrust as we were into the midst of the madness. So the ground was crying out, you say, to be considered the harbinger of doom. It must have been quite distinctive and probably quite loud. Speak with one of Numenon's mammoths and ask if any books which make any reference to such a sound. Last but not least, would you describe how the ancestors sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive action did they take? Yeah, with a little bit serving as his heart, so many gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. Know exactly how Zodiac brought salvation to the star, only that by his godlike will, where the law of nature set aright. Once the balance was redressed, the ancients offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Life sprouted anew, and it was these fledgling souls they intended to render unto Zodiac a trade that would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. Or might have, had Venat and her followers not manifested their opposition in the form of Hydaelyn. Thank you both for the detailed review. I feel so much more confident now in my understanding of the events. All that fresh in mind does make me wonder, what do the Telephoroi truly mean when they speak about bringing back the final days? Seeing that they are doing with those towers of theirs, forcing people to summon primals, kind of catalysts, are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by the instable creation of magics? Or are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech, conventional metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash? That is all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let us return our attention to the forum, shall we? Keep an eye out for your Stola. Time to be studying these research papers. You'll hug 5 minutes, what? Oh yes, my favorite quest step. Wait at the same destination over and over. Smart. Have a good one. Oh, I'm not having a good time sitting in my chair today. And the last time my extended search of the Archon stacks produced 1 or 2 possibly useful books, but I wouldn't get your hopes up. If I recall, Urianger learned these sources reflections from the Gurren oracles for its potential to cause panic and confusion. The tome was deemed apocrypha and was sealed away in the Great Google Library. Even less likely, the knowledge of the unsundered world, not to mention the horrors of final days, would be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. That's the reason that my colleagues, be they archons or counselors, should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. Yet when you confronted Master Fortuno with knowledge that the Telephoroi and their machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the forum would know the final days were truly upon us. Only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the forum's behavior, it's being kept secret from the rest of the nation. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty, whether they contain mention of the final days or no, could yet hold something of value. We weren't thinking of leaving, where there's plenty of work for everyone. Kryle's, aw. Dejected Kryle. .mp4. What feels like an agent still his research assistant. You look exhausted. What about your studies? Were you able to find anything of the studies I mentioned? They was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, a mammoth at the reference desk will point you in the right direction. For the moment, though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. We might be occupied with our research for quite some time. Or for a tea break, I know I am. So my neck and shoulders are going to be calcified. I'll stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. And then the last stand down the harbor. Don't you come and meet me near the outside tables. Treat you to their coffee. It's quite good. Waiting for me. Oh, hi. That's me. I'm heading down to cafe area. I mean, it's going to be a lot of buildup. I think that all this buildup is going to be relevant in regards to whatever reveal it's going to be. Whether that's there in the Ascian's pockets or what have you. I think it's going to be super relevant. Oh, you didn't have to, Tamsin. I got a few levels. You didn't have to. I appreciate it, though. Here. I can at least give you that to, like, recompensate you in some capacity. Take my money. I think that would be... No, I think there's a little more. Thank you. I appreciate that. And it was way cheaper than Diadocos. I didn't even think I was going to get this far, to be completely honest. I really do appreciate that and all the help you guys have given me. Raids soon. Once I get through Endwalker. Thus my EX, Savage, and up to Ultimate at some point. Raiding stuff starts. And Shadowkip. Oh! Derp. Hi. I have it tied to my numpad. Booties of RC, very Sharlyan. No Gourmet Cafe has sprung up to compete for customers. Next, this crowd gives me an idea before we place an order. Ask a few questions, gauge the mood of the city. Interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Telephoroi. Maybe learn something new worth a try, don't you think? Alice is now accompanying me. Hi, Alice. How's it going? Can I not enjoy a moment of private respite if you're looking to share a table and respectfully request that you look elsewhere? Sir, we're simply wondering if you know of the Telephoroi enemies. I'll say, what a brunt way to say that. That's Leviager, aren't you? This woman with you is obviously a foreigner. I heard that you were disowned for helping out. That is indulge their barbaric whims, and here you are giving the truth to the rumor. Think you leave me be. I have not to say the likes of you. I must apologize for something to expect an ounce of civility from anyone so enlightened. Come on. Wow. Okay. That's a way to do that. We're gonna see it a set. Sorry for the... You're fine. I'm literally gonna get not Cripplurker. I'm gonna get Tombstone anyways once I hit post. You're all good. It gets me through the story. I appreciate it. I assure you. I had the pleasure. Excuse the interruption, but I was hoping you might share your thoughts on the Telephoroi and their unconscionable plans. This isn't young Miss Levier. Apologies. I'm working in the office of the forum at Reddit Reach Master Force to know that I was helping you. I'm sorry to have bothered you. Well, and I also have, like, minus the weapon, which I'm going to just get Tombstone weapon, the minus Paladin weapon. Like, I have full Diadoco set. No, I appreciate it. That helps me out, meaning I can just blitz through this game. I do take into account upgrading gear sets is a very expensive endeavor through the expansions, and I know come Dawn Trail I'm going to have to deal with it. Do today. Mistress Alice, I see there. My word, how long has it been? Far too long. The owner of the Last Stand, I used to frequent the cafe on occasion between lessons at the studium. Like an age ago now, I remember hearing that you and Master Alpha had set up to Eorzea, and you never came back. You gossiped about your father disowning the pairing, everything all right at home. It's all complicated. And I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, it is House Levier. No matter how discreet Master Portion note may have been news if your family's doing never stay secret for long. That's because of what they are. It brings you your life in the same now of all times. See, that's the thing, is you can use that to discredit him, though, realistically, if you wanted to weaponize that. Like, well, I mean, you are the premier forum member. You couldn't keep this under wraps, so clearly you're just trying to stir gossip, and you can use it to discredit. For to turn someone away because they disagree with your perspective. Exactly. Questions the only Sharlyan had the answers. Tell me, Master Dickon, have you ever heard anything about the apocalypse called the Final Days? Like the end of the world? Nothing like that, I'm afraid. Here to find information on this apocalypse. Whatever we can learn, unfortunately, patrons appear to be unwilling to speak with me. Or more I could do to help. He's gonna keep his ears open, maybe? Maybe there is. You're a visitor to Sharlyan, aren't you? If people know your face, we'll be able to pass you off as a server and none the wiser. We just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're sending down the food, and you might just get the answers you're looking for. Not a bad day. I hate to ask, but what do you think? Spirit, pay attention now, and I'll explain where each of these dishes needs to go. Tea set is chatty group by the water's edge. Omelets for one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gizla. So omelet is outside. Did see the Mikote gentleman. He ordered the overbaked lobster. Let's explain. Of course they profile the Mikote liking lobster. Okay, so this is going to be the first one, right? This isn't going to be the... Wait. So Gizla's going to be the middle one. That's going to be... Yeah, that's the middle one. That's... And Mikote. I can't tell if this is the first one or the third one. He said... Tea set goes to the group by the water. Behind those two ladies. What two ladies? What? So they're by the water, so they get the tea set. It's also the tea table, so they get the tea set. No, wait. If you choose wrong. This is throwing me for a fucking loop. There's not really many Mikotes. Pretty sure it's an oven-baked lobster. Oh, fuck off. Everyone's at the water side, right? Like, this is not how you do restaurant. I can respect it, but goddamn. I'm sorry, I've never heard of them in the Final Days. Friends are somewhat uninformed when it comes to current events. Now, if you wanted to hear about the ritual arcane practice of 6 Astral Era, common or esoteric, I'd be happy to talk your ear off. Yeah, so Gizla's going to be the second one. It's going to be the omelet. 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's dig in. No time to waste. Ah, yes, I remember seeing that name in the latest Gazette. That and some grand claim at the end of the day. Some old senseless warmongering. One of these fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood. So yeah, the forum made the right choice. I've really supported a decision to remain neutral. And then this is going to be the lobster. Right, okay, so God, that is... Ugh, that was a rough way to explain that. Let's see, oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long Scrimton suffered to afford this heavenly dish. Nowadays, this is the first I've heard of it. That would explain my friend's been rushed off his feet. It must be a busy time to be a gleaner. You know what a gleaner is? They're collectors of sort. Travel the world procuring things that we haven't seen here in Sharlyan. Priceless books, usual live specimens, and so forth. So named for the folk who trail after the reapers in their fields, picking up every grain which was missed. Oh, and by accounts, leading the most meticulous and demanding profession. Is If these Telephoroi make good use of the audacious threats, many catalog rarities could be lost forever. Why would the gleaners be buzzing with such a frenzy? Watch the harbor, you see what I mean. They're carrying loads from docks all day. I've never been to this hectic before, not like this. Give the cat away the seafood? Exactly, that's profiling. You can't do that. Nuh-uh, can't do it. Any trouble with the customers? Were you able to get anyone talking? Lobster probably tastes great, actually. Interesting to see. I'm unaware of the final design from whatever vague news the gazettes are printing. Even Dickon had nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in the city. If the forum does have secret knowledge, and they've done an impressive job of ensuring no one whispers it in the wrong ear. In any case, then they explain the part so well. Cup of coffee, I promised. Let's enjoy drink somewhere else, shall we? Maybe behind the peristyle, away from the gossip of their wagging tongues. Do nicely out of the window and out of sight. That says some kind of tasty meat, probably. I'd buy it.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Where's our official Final Fantasy merch with the coffee cup?
Later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Sharlyan? Graham said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt.
This is the official 14 cookbook. I do need to pick that up.
And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently. It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been. How being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family.
I make cups, though. I would assume you can find some at Etsy.
If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently.
It wouldn't have. There's the gleaners that were just mentioned in the last quest. Small on boat. It's the funny.
They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos. A vast complex beneath the island. Sharlyan is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility. Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat.
Under the city?
Wait! Didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual? Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And gleaners answer to the Forum.
That's the one. Man, subtle as a sack of bricks, ain't it?
The appearance of the Telephoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity. Then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
My God. Yeah, get some sleep. Tell the others what we learned about the Gleaners. Go ahead to Numenon, and I'll join you in a moment. Master Jacob will on his cups back. If I can get to an Aetheryte. Let's look at this site. Let's have no decap. Rough. Yeet. I don't know. It still is one of the best scythes I have seen in a hot minute. I think it's pretty great. I don't like the double scythe aesthetic a lot of them try to do with scythes. They're kind of hit or miss in 14. At least for me. For walking, cleared your head, have you? Not exactly. We did some impromptu investigating and turn up information for the Gleaners. Makes sense. The Gleaners take their requests directly from institutions and bureaucrats, but as you say, they ultimately answer to the forum. So that simply increases Gleaner traffic and cargo. It simply certainly gives the impression of an overarching plan being put into motion. See what that theory can build from for the facts. Stola observed earlier, Nun's archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with what Kip and Alice learned in the last stand, we can be reasonably sure those shrines know nothing of a particular period of ancient history. My father and his colleagues are not only familiar with the final days, we're also somehow certain that destruction being perpetuated by the Telephoroi is wholly unlike these apocalyptic events. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance that they saw it fit to unanimously deny Eris's request for aid. Now the Gleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized in an unprecedented scale. Do not think it a stretch to conclude that the Gleaners' recent activities are in service to the Forum's secretive ends. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthos, assess the situation for ourselves, and if we're lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. I'd hate to spoil the surprise. As for myself, there are a few more subjects I'd like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave me behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see that each is returned to its proper place. That'd be a great help. Thank you, Raha. Head down the stairs over there, and I'll show you where the entrance is. Wouldn't this be restricted, though? Like, to citizens or citizens with certain clearance? Like, I would assume so. Labyrinth is not too far from you. You may find a path a bit disorienting. Take the lead, so stay close. I'll say try not to fall behind. No! No, I'm fast. My walk is faster than Alice's walk. But Alice is slower. But, oh god, I hate it. Even the RP walk is faster than Alice's walk. No! Game, this is not a brisk walk. I want you to know that. My run is just as fast as her run, actually. I think she's actually slightly faster than me. Trying to see if she actually does catch up to me. No, she doesn't. I think it actually gated her. I don't know. Once she got running, that was fine. I'm waiting for it just to be labeled like Eureka fucking Labyrinthos at this point. Sped it up because she was slower even as you were running. They could have sped it up, honestly. This could have been a patch. Do the door and down the stairs. Did you remember to attune the shard back there, didn't you? It'll make your life much easier if you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep moving. Could have outpaced her. Yeah, I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it not being that. Take that. That wasn't bad. Chocobo Keep! Is that just a Chocobo mask? That is. That is in fact that. Okay. Oh, hi, Kryle. Oh, hi, Mark. I'll hear us take the liberty of securing positions for our group's descent. Run on the lift and down we go. Okay, yeah, so it is restricted. Kryle had to get us permissions. Yeah, so it is restricted.
Deep beneath the Scholar's City shines a false sun within a fabricated sky.
It's just Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Season 3. The arena
those who consider the floor
thing under the skull
of their bookshelves, and this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed.
This
stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more room.
This feels like this is going to be a dungeon. This feels like it.
Solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation.
Sheep. Sheep! Watame.
Knowledge, buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
It's just the biodome underneath GX Academy. I love it. Yeah, no, I figured that was a small sun. The rain is a little weird to me, though.
Not what you expected. I must admit, the artifice is very convincing. But I assure you that we are beneath Sharlyan itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand of man.
The island is volcanic, you see, and once upon a time this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma. It was discovered some 400 years ago, at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh on no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
Aren't those people gleaners?
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today.
I mean, yeah.
It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then.
Ugh.
That's a headache.
Did you call to me just now?
That's an echo headache.
How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent. I'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's get to work, shall we?
Oh, it's its own area with Aetherite. Oh, that's... Huh. Okay, yeah, because it's its own area. Neat. Hi, Dobbin. Want to know what I'm doing? Hauling books and ore and fauna. It needs hauling. I haul it. Every decade or so, they take stock in Labyrinthos. You know, sort up and tidy your inventory. Never seen an operation like this before, though. They did one just a few summers ago, even. Then, with no warning at all, this mess gets dropped in our laps. Orders from high. Damn to find no other reason. They're changing the layout. Preparing for the next big expansion. Banui. Let me think. The reseed should be item 1058, Cumin Seeds 1059, Snarlberry 1060, or the 1061. My head feels like I'm stuffed with Mako grass. My more loads to take than carry out than carry in. Why do all this at once and risk mixing up? What if someone mistakes the Kurthan carrots for the Garbanian carrots? What then? My god. Those damned animals in the forum. How dare they? How dare they mix up those carrots? Double give more headaches because you didn't have the look of a gleaner. I'm in no mood for idle chatter. One of my colleagues was so exhausted he took a tumble and crashed into a pile of crates. Now I have a pack of marmots running loose. Sounds like these guys aren't getting paid enough. Any luck what tales of the gleaners have to tell? This grand operation began without warning, and every item they bring in, they're sending more inventory somewhere else. I'm just playing the haggard faces I've been seeing. The right form is definitely up to something. They're turning Labyrinthos upside down in the process. You want to learn more of what specifically the Gleaners are being tasked to do, as well as those who tasked them to do it. If you're game, I have an idea. Didn't one of those Gleaners you questioned say something about escaped marmots? Perhaps if it would help him capture said creatures might be inclined towards a more friendly and enlightening conversation. Meantime, I'll turn my charms up on this Gleaner here. We can compare notes afterwards. Happy hunting. Yeet. Yeah, so there's going to be flight in the zone, meaning there's going to be ether currents. Which helped me find the marmots have nothing suitable to pay you for your service, but if you're offering the goods to your heart, I'd welcome the assistance. Name is Ernville Friend, specialist in the collection of live specimens. That said, the capture of these Nangshan marmots is a trial I have no desire to repeat. Grizzled mice, they call them. For mercy, there are no other marmot species in this tier at present, so there should be no mistaking little fugitives if you happen to catch any of them in the sack. Gently, of course. Where to begin, you wonder? Not seen scampering through, so we'll need to widen our search the surrounding forest. Be on your guard. There are beasts out there that will hesitate to prey on a mammoth or you. What a weird way to, like, justify that. Yeah, there's just aggro enemies out there. Here's in the west, the eastern part of the forest is all yours. Good luck. Like, I mean, it's an area. Like, we have multiple ether currents. Right? We have multiple etherites here. And I'm just sitting here, and I'm just kind of, like, weird that they just let all these things just... No, I don't know. It's strange to me. That's the big boy. That's a big boy. Time to catch some Pippas. It's actually the Pippa. Squeak! No, not Squeak! And get my hands on him. And get my hands on that little bastard. Oh, is it actually gonna lead me over here? That is just a hunting troll. Nice. Squeak! Rat sack. I hate it. Thanks, I hate it. Well, while I'm here, I'm gonna go get that etherite. You're butchering their fauna collection. Exactly. I'm literally giving some poor gleaner way more work. That's so sad. Like, homeboy just, like, broke his back for probably minimum wage. And I was just like, nah, bro, it's fine. Moogle. God, that earring, though. The pre-order earring for Dawn Trail is going hard. Like, it is going hard in terms of EXP. Especially in roulettes today. I mean, like, I almost hit, like, a couple 90s today. We haven't done an update in a while. I mean, my Gunbreaker's almost there. Paladin, I'll probably get to, like, 85 or something before I do it. I don't know. We'll figure out what I want to do with that. But, Gunbreaker, I'm going to finish up. Reaper, I want to finish up in the MSQ. Wrong way. Well, okay, that makes sense, though, because that's a fossil. Like, it's just some, like, Pokemon Nature Preserve kind of thing. Like, I get it. Like, Indigo Disc. I don't know. I've been trying to get back to Indigo Disc. I just haven't felt Scarlet and Violet. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. It's just not vibing with me like Fire Red or Emerald is. Or like Heart Gold, Soul Silver. I know there's been people that have been invested in my thoughts on it. I'm just like, I don't know. It's weird to try and, like, bring myself to play it right now. Big troll. Nature Preserve and how Nature Preserve went not to interfere with nature exactly. P for Pokemon. Gen 3 and 4, honestly. I do have special attachment to 5 a little bit. But, like, I don't know. Scarlet and Violet was fun when it first came out. The DLC, I think, took too long. Some features. I need to go back into my copy of Shining Pearl. I need to see if that Coliseum ever got released underneath the Pokemon Center. Because that was one that I was waiting forever on. And if they don't want to deliver in... they don't want to deliver those features, I mean... Not much I can do. Sure. Mouse. Squeak! Prepared for speed this time so you can close the stack over the elusive quarry. I did it. We have caught the mouse. The mouse. M-A-U-M-S-E. Mouse. I think Pokemon just ended up doing... I mean, they're kind of focused on more live service stuff, right? Like, Unite's pretty live service-y. The fact that we got DLC packs now, it feels like they just want to go more of a live service route, and that's fine, but you have... I've said it enough times, you have to bring the live service if you want the live service. You can't, like, Halo Infinite, just, like, do it halfway and expect it to work. Like, you have to, like, go into it. You have to engage hard. Bear track down 3 of pack, which leaves 1 unaccounted for. Listen, as the odd mammoth out. Yeah, they don't take kindly to poachers on nature reserves. Yeah, it's supposed to be a new ZA game. It's going to be a Legends game, like Legends Arceus. I'll probably get it. I don't know. My friend's holding in a holding cage. It depends. The next mainline game, I'm gonna need to see them come up a little bit. Marmots seem to be unharmed. They've held up well in isolation, but it's too soon to release them into the habitat. Good thing we were able to capture them so swiftly. You have my thanks. Yeah, I mean, I do hope that they do give it... Oh, this is the dude from the Dawn Trail trailer. That's where the Forum decided they are the guiding authority behind Labyrinthos. After all, in this job was but one small part of a great inventory of theirs. Suitable for consumption and easy to breed. Those are the two conditions. It's given the stock I was instructed to procure. Don't know what the Forum is planning for these creatures, but at the very least, doubt they'll be served for dinner today or tomorrow. Banui. There you are. Was the Gleaner you mentioned the one who was looking for lost marmots? In company you keep, friend. Who are you folk anyway? Proud Susan Baldessian. Those are my associates. Truth be told, the Forum's decisions late have not sat entirely well with us. This is why we made a descent into Labyrinthos. We hope that by seeing their decisions put in action, we would more rightly fully understand their reasoning. Wise and practical. Never hurts to try and gain a broader perspective, does it? Anyway, duty calls. Other animals capture and enclosures to empty. Once again, I'm sorry I can't offer you more for your services. Give us a bunch of really cool features and mechanics to breathe new life into the Pokemon completely forgotten next mainline game. Exactly. I might buy it because I do miss my Mega Ray, but that is going to be my quintessential, is Pokemon going to be worth it to continue for me as someone who used to be a professor? It's something I have sunk hundreds and hundreds and thousands of hours into as a series, as a franchise. But unfortunately, it's in a rough spot. I knew from your friend there. Look at him! Look at the strut walk on that marmot! Or on the mammoth. Confirm the order for the ambitious operations did indeed come directly from the war. However, the Gleaners have not been informed on its purpose. We're going to be hot, probably, honestly. Are you telling me that Professor Oak is not a fine piece of ass? A fine, like, choice prime steak? Someone shot like, what? Feels everything we've heard this start. I've been itching to go back to Gen 2. I literally have Gold, Silver, and Crystal on Game Boy Color carts in my desk right here that I've been itching to go through. Figure that might actually be a nice little stream after I finish 14. Something nice, something chill, right? Also discover the operation has begun. The Forum contacted the Gleaners Guild ship and put their people to great work some 4 days after the Telephoroi made their chilling declaration. Seasoned travelers, the Gleaners keep abreast of the news from every corner of the world. Excuse me, out of necessity, thus I'm inclined to trust their calendar of events is accurate. It does give a distinct impression that this undertaking was a sudden and unexpected development. Yet I find it hard to believe that such a comprehensive restructuring of Labyrinthos and its archives would have been planned brief window. Sounds long in the making. We're doing the right time to put this into effect. Telephoroi's declaration was what set it in motion. Seems likely that none of us jump to conclusions yet. For the moment, I suggest we conduct a wider investigation of Labyrinthos. The more facilities we visit, the more pieces of the puzzle we stand to find. In that case, how about we head to Archelon? From there, we can reach the tower. There it is. Oh, this is the noise. The noise that was mentioned. Oh. Fine, truly, sudden descent has me with a bit of a headache. That's it. And that's why the noise was relevant. That's why that conversation was relevant. Well, stop me from soldiering on. Let's be about it then. It's something to take the lead. I'm fairly certain to remember the way to the Archelon. Follow the past E through the forest where you were chasing after that house or marmot, mouse or marmot, was it? What was you need to watch out for? Makes me remember something that once war is upon a country, they cry for defenders. Once the time for peace, warriors forgotten or respected. Bitch on enemy. I mean, we see it in stuff that like React content I do and stuff where I've noted like, yeah, nah, people want to cry for conflict. And they don't understand the other half of that. They don't understand the other side of that. And even then, the amount of times I've seen veterans that just go completely ignored or, well, you did the thing. Who cares now? No, it's something that is unfortunately very, very true with people. They like to forget. I don't even say like to forget. Just like to ignore. You hold the Archelon as serves as the Sharlayan's literary archive, so the structure serves as the city's wealth for material data. Architecture too is similar. The building you see is merely in the upper entrance access point to the vaults carved on the cliffside itself. Those vast rooms stored with countless samples of specimens, as well as the detailed records which describe them. Men are speaking. The Archelon contains a physical history of Sharlayan's unwavering dedication to the accumulation of knowledge. Won't learn anything of value standing here. Let us proceed into the main building and speak with the custodian. Last time I enjoyed Pokemon, no qualifiers. Enjoyed Gen 3, but the copy-paste mechanics and story structure were going stale. Well, to be fair, Gen 2 was the continuation of Gen 1, and notice that after that, it starts getting into, oh, well, we're saving the world, and, high stakes, Kyogre, Rayquaza, Groudon, Palkia, Dialga. It was still kind of a mundane, contained story. Look at that frog! Look at him! Look at him go! Peruse the Archeon's vaults. Peruse, you're certainly not gleaners. Might I ask your affiliation? Belong to students of Bladessian, but is that relevant? I was given to believe that the vaults, open to the public at least, were open to the they were open to the public. Ordinarily, yes, that would be the case. At present, however, access is restricted. Only persons directly involved with the organization efforts are permitted to enter. Not us, then. I suppose we'd better move along to another facility. The building has a lift which connects to the middle tier, yes. Might we at least make use of that? Nope. No go. That service has also been suspended, I'm afraid, for the time being. Priority has been given over the conveyance of inventory. This is as far as we can go. Apologies for the inconvenience. Please come again after our restructuring operation is concluded. This is a classic Pokemon progress gate, right? Oh my god. That was a weird hit of nostalgia. Not only too late, and we were so close to getting answers. We're gonna think about this episode for a moment, shall we? The Elite Four is under construction. Come back later, right? From Gen 7. Students of Bladessian. Humph. Hump. The man is sus. He is sus among us. We're at an impasse. We have no other leads. Just feel like, should like to peruse this one further. Thought that our stone-faced custodian will be swayed and heartfelt pleas. We must seek out the means to make access to lower levels. Like the people in this area are involved in their restructuring in one way or another. If we were to ingratiate ourselves, they might allow us to accompany them in the lift. Let us ask around. Surely someone need a few strong backs to lighten the load. Facilities under enemy occupation, right? Bemused student. We're taking left. Oh no, we're just students. They won't let us in the Archelon, even though we found. Actually, we have no idea what it is that we found. There's no record of such a creature anywhere, but is wandering around tranquility. So we thought to donate it to the vaults. Amazing. Squeal, squeal. Honest little squeal, don't you think? Anyways, I suppose we have to take care of it until the Archelon is open again. I hope this comes up again in some quest. That'd be really funny, actually. It's Chatbert. It's like Twitch chat. Those are probably progression spoilers. Oh, 100%. What's that? Take you down the lift with me? Sorry, but not a chance. I've been up and down all day, and I've only found a spare moment to rest. Did see a gleaner fellow heading out the gate there, though, shouldering a large pack, engaged in some manner of task. He'll be headed down below after he's done, whatever he's doing. Maybe? And surely I thought he would be up here. There you are. Yeah, I figured it was going to be him again, Aaronville. He said large pack. Frighten it away. Ah, it's you. I didn't mean to be here, but in the midst of another task, the cloud can need to capture is very, very close. Just help me with this too. You spend your time in unusual ways, my friend. Still 200 is generally better than the one. Yes, very well. Now here is common gathering spot for birds of all kinds, but this one I'm after today is the hornbill. Feathers are green. It's quite distinctive. Caw singled out and shoot it with a sleeping dart. Extra short list. So lie in wait down the riverbank to claim our quarry. Be sure to hit the right one. Oh, I mean, I guarantee you this is going to be one of those that is... Like, even then, going down, right? 85, right? You can tell from Fates, because Fates are technically spoilers. 85, 88. This is going to be end of expansion. Green bird with cause. Ooh. Oh, fuck off. Bird! Bird down! Oh, it's going pretty well. How about you? Playing some expansion of 14 today. Bird down. Repeat, bird down.
A fair shot. Nicely done. Let me truss this one up and I'll make my way over to you.
Banui. Better make cute.
There you
Oof.
are. Any new revelations?
So you met with that gleaner again, this time to capture a hornbill.
Damn straight.
I understand catching and bringing in creatures from the outside, but what's the point of chasing after ones already here?
That is also a good question.
Oh, it's a simple thing, really. Occasionally, we remove specimens no longer needed for study, or those we've had difficulty raising. But we can't simply turn them loose. Safely returning such creatures to their native habitats is another facet of a gleaner's duties. But not in this case, I'm afraid. I've been asked to bring the bird below.
Banui.
The restricted section in the lower levels of Labyrinthos. Open only to a select few researchers hand-picked by the Forum. The projects down there are the subject of rumor and hearsay. Forbidden magics. Advanced technologies that can never be allowed to fall into outside hands. Even Archons are not privy to the truth. Those who are, the researchers involved in this secretive work, are not permitted to walk freely in the city, and are instead required to live in isolated quarters.
That's rough. Getting Soviet Russia vibes.
Facility subject to such strict security protocols, possibly need with a hornbill. An experiment?
They're all going to become birds.
I wasn't afforded an explanation.
They just pay me.
But judging by the requisition list given to me and my colleagues, I doubt it's for any kind of advanced research. I'd be more inclined to believe we were making preparations to migrate to the south. Mericidia or thereabouts.
Huh.
What? Why would you say that?
Much of the flora and fauna we were asked to procure could serve as reliable sources of sustenance.
Mm-hmm.
They're comparatively hardy species, too, able to endure harsh climates. And among them are specimens known to be effective in improving soil quality and purifying water.
When you put it that way, migration does sound like a reasonable assumption.
Yeah.
That's all it is, though. An assumption. Through our tasks, we gleaners glimpse only bits and pieces of the Forum's plans. Our prime concern is that our requisitions, be they living or otherwise, are properly preserved for the knowledge of future generations. Now, I really must be going. I regret that I cannot reward you as you deserve.
Not go for it, Banui, man.
Perhaps you might reward us after a fashion, then. It is imperative that we reach the lower levels. And seeing as you are already set to descend with your assigned cargo, mayhap we could accompany you as your assistants.
Wink, wink.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Once the animals have been prepared for transport, we send them down separately via the lift.
That's the
I
one.
will, of course, follow after to make my report, but I can hardly pass you off as porters when there's nothing left to carry.
Indeed. Pray forget I said anything.
How do you feel about climbing? If you've strength and the courage to brave it, then there is another way down.
My God.
This path leads to the 33rd facet, a mine shaft excavated during one of our expansions of Labyrinthos. While I cannot guarantee that the passage is safe to traverse, it should provide access to the medial circuit below.
I never even knew such a place existed. Thank you. This is the perfect solution.
You're quite welcome, but consider yourselves warned. If the going proves too treacherous, you do well to turn back. I bid you good day.
Good guy, Banui, dude. Love him. Climbing down a sheer cliff, exactly.
It's hardly an option, not when we've come this far. Let's go and take a look at this mine shaft.
Like, that's the thing. It's like they're super on top of it. Like, city state security maximum. Like, we have a actual what did Soviet Russia call them? What did the Soviets call it? It was what some of the nuclear cities were, right? Or like Uralsk 7, right? How it was like a closed city, right? Closed city, except they forgot to close up the mine shaft like absolute dinguses. Or they just assumed it to be too dangerous and nobody else could, should reasonably go in there or go down there, use it to traverse. And we get anyone this too? Exactly. No, we just happened to come across this cave. Yeah, we helped the dude with the bird, but we just came across this cave. It's a cool looking cave. Thought we'd go and explore it, right? I mean, it is on the first level. Bird. I wonder, actually, outside game knowledge, can you fly to the next Aetheryte? That is not me asking to get flown there. Or is it closed off? Because I'm thinking it might be a Yulmore situation. I'm thinking it might be in... I don't think it's in there. Maybe that's the last one. Super dangerous. Go to a mine shaft. Why anyone else? Exactly right. Nah, joke's on you, we're unhinged. Entrance to the mine shaft. His faint, but I hear something moving within creatures. Home there by the researchers, don't you think? Slavish, slavery we decide we need to watch our footing. Tighten our straps, think before we continue. Hey, level up. Assuming everyone's tightened their straps and check the gear, I say we head on. Given the terrain ahead, though, we want to see some distance between us. We want stumbling over each other when it comes to a fight. Take it slow. Don't forget to check your surroundings from time to time. We can meet up again at the other end of the tunnel. You can fly, but I don't recommend it. No, and that's fine. Like, I'm not asking to get flown there. What I'm trying to figure out is if they did actually contain it and they did lock it behind progression, kind of like the Yulmore one, the Yulmore Aetheryte, you couldn't do because it's locked behind progression, or if someone could ferry you there. Because I'm very curious. It's very interesting that they still have this open, like, policy kind of design philosophy of just like, yeah, someone could just fly you over there. Or like the Alamegan zones. Okay, so it's split up between different things. Interesting. Mithril cap. Oh no! Not the mushrooms. Oh, those ones and higher ones. Right. Cool. That answers my question. Thank you. Also, I do want to point out that the forum has effectively just left all of these things here without any sort of, like, contingency. Just like, yeah. I don't know, but then again, they do have a non-aggression policy, so they don't exactly account for adventurers coming in here and, you know, just ganking everything, right? They don't really account for that. Crest progression, someone who has access to flying could theoretically take Helios out of the map, and in this case, the furthermost Aetheryte. Right, the furthermost one I can see. But I mean, like, that's not me asking for that. I'm gonna progress through this myself. I was just curious, because I thought Yulmore was a step in the right direction last expansion, and I thought they would have sealed that up behind quest progression. That's why I'm concerned about us going after their specimens, right? Music is so whimsical. It's wild. My gear is on level. Oh, right, I have Cripplerker gear. That's why. I'm like, my gear's on level. I shouldn't be listing through these things. My gear is Cripplerker, so I'll be good through like 85. Barbarians come to my place, strong arm answers, and they destroy my priceless knowledge. Kick them exactly. Like, they have to know that we're here, right? Like, he has to know. There's no way that he doesn't know, especially being the cube. Roblox, I have come. An Ozma mount kills me. We don't have pyramid Ozma mount, do we, though? Like, it does sphere, and it does ball, and it does cube, but it does not do pyramid. I make through the incidents, nothing of consequence, at least, as promised. The tunnel has delivered some to the medical circuit. So our call tier, which is to keep a wide variety of samples for agricultural production. If no assumption holds true, the specimens are being collected in preparation for a great migration. See evidence of such in the area's research projects. Follow the path to the nearest farming facility and see what we see. It does do a pyramid in the... Oh, it's the underwater shape. Okay, so it does. Genemos. That's just a pile of leaves. We're still in 80. I mean, that makes sense that we're on 81 monsters. Yeah, it's the artificial sun. It's kind of cool. Mario's Sunshine Shine Sprite. Purifying pyramid for underwater. So at least they got everything covered. Those are some really colorful toads. Stray garlic! Yeah, because we're not supposed to be down here, right? Yeah, because they take from the upper level to the lift down here. So we're not supposed to be here. Not realistically. Puppet's bunker. Oof. Quick slumber. It does that, I hear. Squapes! Squape jump scare. Sorry, it spooked me. It startled me. Now this is Mariel Agronomics. Labyrinthus is the host to a wide variety of vegetation, which allows us to conduct studies on cultivation methods utilized in foreign lands. In this facility where coordinates and oversees these efforts, the fruits of their research go to feed Labyrinthus colleagues, or so I hear. Most notable sources might make to the Agora. Food so exotic you'd be hard-pressed to guess their origin, let alone how they might taste. Indeed, mystery vegetables without a name, only a list of nutritional benefits scribbled on a card. See, the sudden light change got me. See no gleaners hereabout, and these workers seem to share that same sense of urgency. 'Tis possible they know something about the Forum's plans and their underlying motivations. Worth looking into, wouldn't you say? See what you can coax from the workers. The rest of us will do the same, or just about for useful clues. Yeah, security should be all over us, to be fair. If this is a tight, closed system like it's being portrayed to us as. Like, we should be absolutely just getting accosted right now, like, by now. I guess this is a less high security part of it, to be fair. Didn't expect visitors not with the use of the lift being restricted. How did you make it down here anyways? Oh, we just climbed. You know. Mineshaft, you say, well, you're much hardier soul than I. And Orcsons are reward such tenacity with a guided tour of the fields, but I'm afraid the Forum has us feeling orderless and mom long. Massive yet detailed requests, literal wagons of crop samples, and hardly any time to put them together. When I first heard of this grand reorganization, I assumed we would be shuffling around old stock to make room for the new. Then came the orders, ridiculous quantity of seeds already thoroughly researched. Passing strange, eh? I pressed for an explanation. It was met with the vague assurances that all would be in due course. Not the most satisfying answer. Like, they know. It's kind of like they know that the world's end. And this also is a commentary. I haven't actually expressed it yet. This is actually a commentary in regard to when you have representatives and they withhold information from the populace, even though the populace is the one that elected these representatives. Isn't that a just a, what's the word, betrayal of their trust? Maybe someone here obviously doesn't belong. Apparently, I'm the second most important person in this facility, and I even think I'm shirking my duties. Even at this very moment, I am envisioning how we can improve our methods. Gazing upon the watermill calms my heart, puts my mind on unnecessary thoughts, leaving room for only for the brilliant ideas. Even so, inspiration takes time, and today it seems slower than usual. Amazing. No restricted area yet. Your area. This is in the area your pass allows. We're starting to hit the edge of that then. Okay. Do I have the right to be taken down? Do I ought to be taken down below more than I can carry, and then some? Stock sent off a cargo lift. Okay, so the lift is still up ahead. Been earmarked for aerial transport, hence the stack of crates atop that hill over there. God's hauling that lot up the slope was a job and a half. There's a lot of mammoths here, actually. I see that going very poorly for a very authoritarian city-state. Crops are raising well. You can see this one's a variety of grape. Squeeps! Look at them. Look at them! Oh, they're great. I love them. It needs a source of sunlight to grow, and conditions here are nothing short of perfect. Hardly surprising, given it's native to the particular locale. The very place upon which Revibara was modeled, a region in the south of Isilbard. Remarkable habitat diversity, allowing a myriad of flora and fauna to thrive. Chilly peaks in the north give way to swaths of temperate plains, which in turn transition to a hot human coastline. Such bountiful territory is ever contested, as you might expect. It used to be called Corvus, where the Imperials renamed it Locus Aminus. Forum saw as not as a prize, however, but as a researcher's ideal environment. Its climates we strove to recreate with the confines of Labyrinthos. Since provided a rich foundation for countless experiments in cultivation. Mammoths keep secrets. Mammoths are sus. Not the stray tomato! What are your thoughts, Y'shtola? Tell me. Stack crates on the hill is going below. It sounds promising. I think this will join you there. I'm gonna get ambushed by fucking vegetables. That is a giant F-off wasp, though. Holy crap. We're gonna hide in the boxes, Beavis and Butthead style. Tell a story of their contents, bundles of common seeds and saplings of by sheaves or reports. Argue it's downright treason, anything less is a complete betrayal of trust. Really depends on what type of information withheld for that reason. Exactly. Flour.
Hard to look away, isn't it? But they're more than pretty flowers. Heart blooms are attuned to ambient emotion.
Oh, that's cool.
You don't seem convinced, but believe me, it's true. This ashen grey, for instance, it mirrors the anxiety and urgency of those working nearby as they rush to fulfill sudden orders. Intense feelings like those spur the petals to change colour. Bright glowing hues in the presence of joy. Dark, subdued shades for frustration or despair.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
Even with the collected wisdom of Sharlyan at our disposal, we've yet to identify the underlying principle of this empathic effect. And there are other mysteries besides. Although the flower is extraordinarily long-lived, its low reproductive rate has made it difficult to find younger populations growing in the wild. With too few sightings to map its distribution, and no closely related species to track, we've been unable to pinpoint its land of origin. To further complicate matters, every culture, even dimly aware of its existence, has given it a different name and mythos. Our attempts to study it via the historical record have been an exercise in frustration. As an avid botanist myself, I should one day like to unravel the Heartbloom's secrets. But I'm afraid other duties must take precedence. I will leave you to your thoughts.
Good guy botanist. Love that man.
Have you learned aught of interest? A flower that reacts to one's feelings? Strange. I must say, I have never heard of such a thing.
That's a surprise, actually.
This is all very fascinating. But as it stands, we've failed to gain any significant insight into the Forum's undertaking.
Indeed. While there is certainly enough activity to support Erenville's supposition that a priority has been placed on improving food production, unfortunately for our investigation, these workers were never informed as to how their duties serve the master plan.
If only we could interrogate the Forum members directly.
Interrogate, quote unquote.
Isn't that the entrance to the arcade?
Benui.
Look, there. I think that's Erenville.
A little difficult to tell from here, but I think you're right. He did say he was coming down to make his report.
Erenville receives his orders from the Forum. Would it not follow, then, that the superior to whom he reports is a Forum member, or at least a close associate.
Stoll is about to bind and gag this man, and Alcé is about to punch him for information. That's the subtext here.
You mean to eavesdrop on their conversation? What of the risks?
Ours alone to bear. We won't interfere with Erenville's work, nor will he be implicated as an accomplice.
So you say this.
If you're not comfortable taking part, I can do this alone.
Nay. I said myself that I wished to know Father's intentions. And no answers will be forthcoming should we simply ask nicely.
We can apologize later, should it come to it. Right now, we need every crumb of information we can get our hands on. Consequences be damned.
This is a bad idea. It's a bad idea. It's bad, okay?
It might be best if you came along as well. In fact, we should all...
Kryl. Dad Kryl.
Kryl?
Oh, yes. That certainly sounds like a plan.
Guess was totally listening.
I'm glad you agree.
Quickly! Erenville is on the move. We need to get closer before we lose him.
The flower is sus. Exactly.
Almost. I can almost reach you.
Hmm. We're also feeling unwell. I've never seen her so distracted. Keep an eye on her, but keep moving too. We can't let her queer slip away. Thought I was in Draken Credit bad. Was headed westwards along the path outside the Arcane. And we can still catch him. We should still be 80. Yeah, we're still 80. We're not going to hit 81 until after the split, I would assume. That way it gives players an equal opportunity whichever way that they wanted. Because like last expansion, right? We had Alizé or Alphino. We could either go to Yulmore or we could go to whatever down south and the Crystarium was. Get the name. Amarang, thank you. Company called Decent Candles. I have not. Have a good laugh. Sounds like it's going to be amazing. Hold a moment. I have an idea. You're going to cast Chameleon. You're going to Elder Scrolls this. Immersive the Colossal Wall-like structure is a Logisticon beta, one of Labyrinthos climate control centers. It have its own lifts, and one could access the upper or lower levels. If I were an agent at the forum, I'd make a very convenient meeting place. And if we happen to find Erenville in the company of said agent, I expect him to reveal issues of importance so as not to launch a stroll past. You have to remain undetected. The Grahan is Vanish spell we're here. Oh, but there are other ways of turning invisible. Yeah, I figured. I'm like, when is this gonna... Hoppity hop, my little toads. Oh no, you stole, please. My god, we have turned into Frog. Very small Frog. Death's Frog has been summoned. Unaccustomed to transfiguration, we're off with the passage of time. Just you and your green companions hop along and catch up with Erenville. If you feel the magic's fading, return to me and I will refresh the enchantment. What am I to do in the meantime? Remain here with me. In your current state of mind, you'll be likely to leap into the jaws of a predator as you would learn anything of note. Aww, sad Kryl. Reminds me, where the creatures hear about in that form, you are essentially defenseless. Change to Toad, you must remain transfigured in order to progress with quest objectives. You made a transfer seconds, so you move too far away. Your mouth for transfiguration area of effects. Speak with control to redo if you need. A bit. Alpha Toad and Alatoad. No! Oh, that's rough. I like that my emotional support Emmett Selk is still following me. This is perfect. There is something about this that is just goddamn perfect. Yeah, combat class the next expansion, right? Do not mind the Ascian following the Toad Ribbit. Ribbit. I like that they allow this to happen. I like that this is a thing. This is actually very cool. Ribbit. 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 Oh, we have a half hour. I thought this was going to be like a minute. Ribbit, Ribbit? Attempts to Alpha Toad attempts and fails, shake his head, but you nevertheless understand he's telling you it's the wrong way. Faces north map, suggesting you cross the bridge. That's a Yakao. Pay no attention to the Clockwork Garlean Emperor. Everything is fine. I like how it's called a luncheon toad. I hate it. The fact that this fate spawn, like that's an 88 fate. That's real close. I guess it does help, like, cater towards people's expectations, if that makes sense. Like, oh yeah, we'll be going to Aporia later. Daytime music. It's got a vibe to it. It's got a bop. There it is. Or at least there's the next one. Rogue. Awful. Nothing conspicuous about these toads.
I trust you will find your compensation to be more than satisfactory. We wish to make clear that we are pleased with the efficiency and thoroughness of your work.
Look at Sus Mikote.
So much so that we have come bearing new tasks in need of your competent hand.
This is kind of reminding me of like Cypher, the Cypher admins from XD and Coliseum. Cat. Ah.
Another lengthy list. If I may speak frankly, the Gleaners have been pushed to the point of collapse by your unending demands.
Oh, got him.
We are not familiars to be exploited. We are Sharlayan scholars, and we deserve an explanation for this unseemly treatment. What warrants such urgency?
Where's the diplomatic answer?
In an age long past, Sharlyan was charged with a momentous duty. And now that word of the final days hangs heavy in the air, the time has come for us to fulfill that charge. I can say no more, but I promise you this. All will be revealed in due course. And when it has, you will understand that your toil was in service to the greatest good.
Spoken like a true politician.
Then I will do your bidding. For now. But unless you wish the Gleaners to rise up in protest, I advise you to offer tangible improvements for our working conditions. Your promised revelation does nothing to address present circumstances.
Fact.
A fair point. Your concerns will be conveyed to the Forum.
I hate it. It's just bureaucracy. It's all it is. It's just bureaucracy. Rogue. He knows. He knows.
I hope that was informative. You may consider my debt to you repaid in full.
What a good guy.
While I do have my reservations about the Forum, I want to believe that they have our best interests at heart.
What a Chad.
Which is why I'm reassured that you're busy sniffing out the truth of things. We can ill afford to place all our eggs in one basket, this master plan of theirs, without first understanding the risks involved.
Wait! How did you know it was us?
He didn't. Wait for
You
the...
need to impersonate a toad. Try studying the real thing. And don't try to fool an expert.
Got him. Oh, I love it. That's so funny. I love it. That's actually great. That whole interaction was amazing. Love this dude. Solution, could have known a gleaner who specialized in animal procurement would not be easily deceived. Seems inclined to put his trust in us all the same. More importantly, perhaps he discovered a new piece of the puzzle. This momentous duty, the Forum agent mentioned. Sharlyan has been called to action, and Teleforoi's declaration was the catalyst, and whatever charge they had hoped to fulfill, even for sufficient import to disrupt all of Labyrinthos, not mention ignore Azer's request for aid. We gotta be coming to the closure of this soon. We have to. Guide of sorts. One, direct involvement from the Forum and the commitment to all its resources. Judging by what we just heard, none of the Gleaners were offered any kind of explanation. At this point, it seems absolutely abundantly clear. Learn nothing new by pressing them further. Head back to your stolen crowd for the moment, see what they think of this. Dropped the mic and walked off. What a Chad. Like, straight up. Dude, just living his best life. Just come on now. If you're gonna try to impersonate a toad, come on. I expect you to make it work. Awesome. Dude's super legit. I love him. Can't wait to see more of him. These neat little ether crystal lamp things are actually kind of cool. They're super aesthetic. Amateurs, exactly. Welcome back, I trust you found Erenville then. Interesting. I had a feeling you would learn something important, even if it was something was simply a confirmation that no one knows as much of anything. Share this with Kyle and discuss how we'd like to proceed. Assuming you find her back at the farm, she was behaving oddly, so I bade her return and rest there. Perhaps not the best decision in hindsight. Would you mind checking near the flower? She was so entranced by the rest of us can survey more to snare just in case decided to wander. Part of me wonders if we're gonna get the hamlet now or later. I'm very curious where this branch is gonna wrap up with. I'm actually surprised that this branch is as long, this quest branch is as long as it is, because I was expecting this to be pretty succinct. Second quest is my fave. The other branch. I'm surprised that Tomato did not smack the crap out of me. Yeah. I mean, I wanted to go for that first, but I felt like we'll get this one out of the way, and then we'll be able to go for the other route just fine. Kryl is entranced by the flower. Kryl, you can't pick that! Kryl, why are you like this?
For you. The spell will keep it from wilting.
Oh, I'm sorry. You just have the fucking spell of lasting immortality.
She
Okay.
said you would need it for the journey ahead.
Oh, hi, Heidelin. Yeah, I figured this might actually be a tool used to suss out some people.
You speak with her now. I cannot hope to match Minfilia's clarity, of course, but...
Like, hear me out. Like, we're talking to the forum. Oh, that's absurd. The flower says you're lying, dude. God. You're already here. Oh, no, I'm going through this. I'm going through this entire branch, and then we'll go to the other one.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Do not worry. She has lent me her body for only a moment. Just as I could not save the first from the flood of light, it has become arduous for me to interact with the physical world without assistance. Though I might converse with you for a time, the incorporeal form I assumed on the ship would be incapable of casting even the simplest enchantment. It is in the depths of the ethereal sea, the place to which all life returns, where my influence is greatest.
Stop on the flower through. We'll stop it from... Yeah.
Sacrifice on the first. It was to the sea, here in the source, where I ferried her soul. I wished that gentle spirit to find rest in the world she loved so well. Her, and another who may yet have a part to play, though that will depend on you. Take the flower. Walk free.
Walk free, oh no.
For you are free to go where you wish, to believe what you will. That bloom will be your guide, test and proof of your conviction. In darkness, seek joy. Surrender not to sadness, and see beyond despair. Walk free, and bear the light for others to follow. Together, raise it aloft and let it shine, till the end, blinding and radiant.
Makes sense that Hydo would be able to cast that.
That was all too brief. Already she seems so far away. My apologies if I startled you. Ever since we began our descent into Labyrinthos, I had sensed another's will, straining to reach out. Even with my particular talents, though, I was unable to make a connection at first. So weak and tenuous it was. Once I took hold of that wispy thread. Imagine my surprise to discover it was Heidelin herself. Needless to say, it seemed wise to learn what we could before letting go. Her answers were more cryptic than I would have liked, but at least she left us with a guide of sorts, that unusual flower. Yes, we are definitely making progress.
You can't be serious. We've done nothing wrong.
Oh no. Oh, father figure. Let's hear us when he was going to come around, because
What business has the Forum with us?
because we've been snooping. So,
Obstruction and suppression, apparently.
Mistress Baldessian, our records show you facilitated the Scions' entrance into Sharlyan by claiming them as assistants for your organization.
this is when you call him slow. Like, come on, dude. We literally filed the paperwork. Come on.
Aware of your investigations. After alerting the major institutions to the presence of potential troublemakers, we received word from an Archean custodian, a group operating under the auspices of the students, skulking about Labyrinthos and engaging in clandestine behavior.
I'm sure.
Clandestine? We may not have entered Sharlyan as Scions, but we did naught to conceal our identities.
Get good.
Our only purpose in this city is to seek the truth. I can think of no reason why our actions should warrant the Forum's intervention.
'Tis not our way to discourage the pursuit of knowledge, but the timing of such pursuits must be considered, not to mention their potential impact. With the world in chaos, we, the true caretakers of wisdom, have committed ourselves to an undertaking that demands the utmost discretion. And we will not risk its success by turning a blind eye to disruptive foreign elements in our midst.
What, then, is to be our fate? Will you put us on a ship back to Eorzea?
The Forum will convene to examine your case. The results of said inquiry will determine your future in this city. As for your absent companion, he has already been detained.
Graha! But why? Is reading a crime now, too?
Reading is encouraged, celebrated even. Not, however, of the volumes shelved in the restricted section of the library.
Well, I mean, why did you let him there? Once again, it seems like a skill issue for Shino. Come on.
Refusing to comply will only make matters worse. Let us instead treat this as an opportunity to open a dialogue with the Forum.
Silence is often one's best defense. I would advise against prolonging the proceedings with frivolous discourse.
Ah. That's the one.
But enough. This is not the place for debate. The rostra await.
But we're the ones who decide who learns what. Exactly. Man, it's the knowledge of... The pursuit of knowledge is encouraged. Except when we say it isn't. God. Oh, I love it. It's actually perfect. Oh, I'd hate sitting in this room. It'd be god-awful. Archons have access, exactly. See, now they're just they're enacting their authority to impose sanctions on them.
I was careless.
We would have been detained regardless. This way, at least, we managed to stay together. I trust your time within the Forbidden Archives was well spent.
You could say that. There's a smile.
The forum will come to order. This inquiry is now in session. As Speaker-elect, I will be presiding over the day's proceedings. Master Fortuno, would you be so kind as to restate the matter which compelled you to summon your colleagues with such urgency?
That's the one.
As you are all aware, we recently denied Eorzea's request for Sharlyan assistance. Since then, certain individuals dissatisfied with our decision have taken it upon themselves to interfere with our work. They entered our nation masquerading as associates of the students of Baldessian. But these malcontents are better known as the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
Oh, I haven't actually seen Crow with their hood down.
These militants wield influence with both the Eorzean and Eastern alliances, and are inextricably involved with the crises presently afflicting the world at large.
But, I don't know. The counter to that is, what crises? You clearly don't think there are any.
Loose in our city, these warmongers sought to meddle with and expose matters of state secret. What are they, if not a dire threat to be expelled?
What do you mean state secret? You are elected by the populace at large. You are. Does this mean that there's something and this is how you counter this, right? Does it mean that there's something going on that the populace doesn't know about, that you're keeping them in the dark about? Isn't that restricting knowledge? I think that you have, some things to talk about for Fortuno, as well as, you potentially, allegedly disseminating the fact that he disowned his son and daughter. Which, I mean, does that not speak to your character? This is how you counter people like this. You make him look bad.
You have tarnished the good name of the students. Galuf would be ashamed.
Oh, and there we go. We're going to now appeal to you should be ashamed. Imagine if who so-and-so thought about this. And that's when you counter with, well, that is a pretty heavy accusation. I'm just more disappointed that they came out of your mouth. I mean, you are a respected individual of this forum, are you not? That seems pretty low for one of your statue, but I guess if you want to be seen as lesser, we can view you as that. I hate the politics game. I hate it so much.
Galuf Baldessian was never one to forsake his fellow man. Even if this nation closed every door and retreated from the world, he would have found a way to help the Scions, help every soul of this star fight back against the coming doom.
Trial has doomed any sort of political defense now. Oh, fuck. It should put her in her place, but not how I would have handled it.
A terrible enemy stands poised to lay waste to all we hold dear. In the face of such madness, Eorzea reached out to Sharlyan, a respected ally, in the hopes of forming a united front.
So at that point, you could toss around, well, I mean, I guess they don't want to be allies.
Was your curt dismissal truly the best you could offer? Or are you so preoccupied with your momentous duty of an age long past that even the end of the world is unworthy of your attention?
Got him.
Whence came this revelation?
From the mouth of a forum member within fortuitous earshot.
Then it seems your findings support my own.
But then you could also implicate Fortuno on that. If they're going to lie, you could also lie. Well, it came from Fortuno. What do you mean? Well, clearly you have an issue communicating, because have you communicated with the wife about disowning your own daughter and son? Right? This is how you play this game. Someone wants to slander you. It becomes very easy to slander back, and that's why we choose to be better.
The reason I visited the restricted shelves was to study records of the forum's policymaking process, to better understand the historical trends underlying their most major decisions. At first glance, the positions of neutrality in war and the accumulation of knowledge, above all else, appear constant and consistent. The unchanging pillars of Sharlyan society.
However, UK Kaze PNG, thank you for the sub.
I might have left it at that. These days, however, I am more attuned to the subtleties of governance, and so I noticed something odd.
Oh, this man's about to lay. Oh, Fortuno's not happy. Look at him in the background. That's great. Yeah, glad to have you. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Before we bang into that, exactly, Jace.
From a particular point in time, the purpose of these policies shifted.
The last calamity?
No longer was knowledge preserved for the benefit of society. Rather, society was to be gradually reshaped to ensure the preservation of knowledge.
The needs of the few. Preserved for the needs of the few. Ooh! Crap.
Conspicuous and telling change was the one which befell Labyrinthos. Once little more than an oversized storehouse, an enormous allocation of funds saw it transformed into an advanced research and archival facility.
The issue was bringing all of them here is now... Notice that this isn't their defense. This is them becoming the accuser and all of the others being the defense.
I also discovered a fascinating account on the finances of our Dravanian colony. The settlement attracted students from far and wide, and the connections
This is
and tuition
amazing
fees
to me.
acquired were funneled into further improvements for the archives.
This is amazing. Political subterfuge and subtlety is unfortunately something that I love and something that I can look at and go, yes.
Now, there is no question that our nation's progress is tied to the acquisition of wisdom. Nevertheless, the vast resources diverted for this purpose borders on the obscene.
That's the one. Let's expose the ledgers, please. People love that.
Of when, our change in course appears to have been made some 270 years ago.
Uh-huh.
The very same period when Sharlayan scholars in the hinterlands began a formal study of the ethereal sea.
Well, it pays to be educated.
You found something, did you not? And whatever it was, gave rise to your oh-so-important duty.
God, I love her.
Mind your tongue, Archon. If you had seen...
Ooh! There we go. Is that a seal on them? Or did he... Wait a minute. Interesting.
Yes. We are bound by a duty we cannot ignore.
Someone isn't happy that we just exposed their balance sheets and where all the funds are going. Let's have a chat about that. Maybe everyone who elected you would like to have a chat about that.
Knowing this, what would you have us do? Abandon our vital work and join you on the field of battle?
No, all of you should be fired. All of you should be fired. Lowest caste of society, exposed to the frauds you are, and work your way back up to respect.
We will never choose the way of the sword. We will fulfill our mission, not through strife and bloodshed, but survival.
I pity this man.
Come what may, we shall live on. We must.
They can't just say it. There's a seal.
Do as you must, then. But we Scions will fight until the heavens fall, until our last breath.
You did disown them.
Such misguided zeal.
Father, Master Fortuno.
That's the one.
I fail to understand the stance you have elected to take. But by the same token, I have yet to find a compelling argument to counter the challenge you put to us in Gridania.
That's the one.
Still, in the midst of my uncertainty, I must trust in myself to do what is right, as others have chosen to trust in me. So I will continue, as I always have, weighing the consequences of my every action, and allowing my hope for the future to inform my decisions.
That's quite enough. Have you all forgotten the reason for this assembly?
Maybe. No. But if you'd like to, let's have a discussion about that. And also have a discussion about all of the aforementioned with the public. Bring back that.
Skolok Monteshane. He's the head of the studium and an old friend of my grandfather's.
He's not going to be of help.
Honestly, every discussion devolves into some interminable debate. Terrible habit. Let's return to the topic at hand,
I love him, but this isn't going to help.
By their own admission, these scions have resolved to fight alongside the Eorzean nations against the doom which swift approaches.
Okay, he did admit it. Okay, fair enough.
But there exists no evidence of an attempt to incite our citizens to do the same.
Ah, this man actually coming in clutch.
While our decision may well have been the correct one, we cannot simply bull our way through these disagreements without inviting doubts or objections. Put yourselves in their place. Who among you would leave a tome unopened if an elder forbid you read it with no reason given? No. If we're to quell further discontent, then we must conclude this matter with a fair and even hand.
Uh-huh. This does appeal to both sides.
Order! We will have order!
You've lost order. Your skill in this is not up to par, man. Come on.
Master Monteshane raises some valid points. Keeping such concerns in mind, I propose we enforce the following measures.
This is going to be the transition out of this
Until
quest chain.
further notice, the students of Baldessian are to cease any and all activities within the domain of Sharlyan. You will also refrain from any further investigation into the Forum's decisions and duties. Failure to comply with these restrictions will result in the immediate expulsion of your Scion associates.
I mean, that seems pretty one-sided.
Let us put this judgment to a vote. All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous vote? Actually, see? Yeah, it's unanimous. No, it's pretty split, actually. Kyle should be pissed.
I count 51 for and 48 against. The proposal is passed.
Just barely, but it does so division.
Students, scions, you have heard the Forum's judgment. Pray abide by it, or face the consequences.
Yeah.
Honored members, I thank you for your time. This inquiry is concluded.
I think Fortuna's arc is going to be devastating, personally. I think he's going to have an oh crap moment at some point during the story. Definitely some regret. Yeah, no, we just can't be. No, and this is the part where you come to a close. This is now closed off for you, and then hey, go do the other quest line. Wink, wink. Been allowed to remain in the city, and our investigations will not be in vain. This mysterious duty of theirs began with whatever the Forum discovered in the ethereal sea. Their freedom so sorely curtailed, however, so I learned aught more substance here in Sharlyan. Look at dissatisfaction. The overall picture has grown clearer, yes, but that's in spite of the Forum being so maddeningly vague about this duty of theirs, so reluctant to explain their actions in plain words. Survival come what may. His father's work so vital that it takes precedence over his own family. But no, I'll say it is you. When I heard you'd been dragged before the Forum, I came as swiftly as I could, and I'm glad they allowed you to stay. Nope, back away. It's a trap. Don't do it. Amelia and Slavier at your service. Fine people must be the signs of Seventh Dawn. How lovely it is to finally meet you. She's the realist of the two. Because we don't wish to make things difficult for you. Word reaches father that you were here. Oh, bother that. Am I to be chastised for speaking with my own children? well aware that you and Master Foshino are not on the best terms at the moment, but I have absolutely desperate to miss my darlings. I don't know. This is one of those subjective things that I get into where it's like, you don't have to deal with that family member. You don't have to deal with that situation. Alice and Alfino would have every right now to say, we don't know. You have disowned us. He disowned us. We don't want to do this. They have every right to do that. We come by the house, won't you? I have gifts waiting. Timing couldn't be better. As matters stand, we shouldn't be going anywhere, or shan't be going anywhere until we discuss matters with Thancred's group and reconsider our options. Go visit your home. We'll be back at the annex when you're ready to rejoin us. I'm not sure. What do you think? The Kip. No. Splendid this has turned out to be the Champions. I must insist that you join us. Nah. Must be quick about it, not for my benefit. Should my husband return and find you enjoying our hospitality, servants will be made to suffer the consequences. Exactly. Disown them without the mother's consent. Why should the mother be punished? Because realistically, and I guess this is once again, this is a subjective thing. Realistically, subjectively, they should be talking about this. And if he's making considerations like that and decisions like that without her consent, she needs to be speaking up. Because what does that turn into? Well, what if he does something to her? I mean, then he goes to prison. Grats. Or he gets ousted as an absolute just menace. That is a very subjective thing with many, many factors, and how I handle it isn't necessarily how someone else should handle it. An opportunity to protest. Matter is settled. Enjoy yourselves, you three. Patriarchal society. The mom has no say. Right. It's, once again, there's a lot that goes into this. I'm going to take no for an answer, so I'm glad, relieved even to see her in such high spirits. Say, even though it seems we shall have little enough time to enjoy it, we accompany you on our home visit. We're going, might as well get it over with. Be sure to stay in the entrance hall, no peeking into our private chambers. Thank you very much. Okay. Why ever not? Your room is always perfectly neat and tidy. Everyone has things they'd rather keep to themselves, don't they? Cherished mementos you could bring yourself from away. Draw to choice. Oh my god, yes. Never mind. The Livier estate is that way, straight down the stairs. Come on. His position as a forum member to enforce it. I mean, then he's an absolute idiot and imbecile, and that should be ousted. That's not acceptable. It comes down to a decision was made. Whether she knew it or not, the decision was made and was finalized. She's not at fault, but he needs to be held accountable, and she should hold him accountable for that. When I were little, this bridge was as far as we were permitted to wander alone. To stay alone, my mother or servant was always somewhere nearby, keeping a watchful eye, traveling different continents, different worlds even. Alfino and I would often wait here for our father to come from work. Must have been a day when his meetings ran long, because I remember growing restless out over the railing to watch the water rush by. Father, of course, right at the exact moment, came pounding on, half panic, crying out my name. Once again, it's a subjective statement for me. I also have different experience and different views than a lot of people on how this subject works. And she's not at fault here, at least from face value. She's not implicit in his choices. I want to clarify that. All the time with grandfather summer, I would dip my hands and feet in the fountain and splash about. Nothing else. Even back then, he wasn't very fond of playing. He makes excuse to avoid it. Look back, you sing like a stone. This is where the first practice magic on an actual person. Had fallen, you see, and scraped me quite badly, so I tried casting some restore spell I'd only just learned. How she smiled when the wound closed, joy and relief that I was believed the very moment I chose the healing arts and made subject to my studies. Oh, that's neat. Neat background. Didn't raise heck against her husband. And that's sometimes you can't. Or sometimes it causes more issues than it would seem. And that's why this is a delicate situation. More influential than any other. There might be someone to trust him a few things more than another, but in all, he is no more powerful than any members of the forum. Could be. I view down on the bench the speaker and Fortuno down there. They were kind of the focus from the clamshell design. They were the focus. Yes, please do come in.
Welcome home, my lady.
What? What are you gawping at? I'll have you know I'm quite fond of the Rising Stones.
Lord Fortuneau is not to hear of this visit. And I should also like the children to have their gifts, ere my husband makes his return.
As you wish, my lady.
As you can see, they're two independent people that do their own things. I think the way she looks at this is...
Alphino, Mistress Alice, if you'd accompany me upstairs.
I think the way that you look at this is that she is...
We shan't be long.
I don't think pragmatist is the word. She is more of a calm-headed, but also I will just do it kind of thing. Whereas whatever good intention or place of understanding that Fortuneau made his decree in exiling them, he still did make that action and did take that action and needs to be held accountable.
From time to time, recounting their latest adventures. I am sure they withhold certain details, of course, if only to keep me from worrying. Yet a mother worries all the same. In the early days especially, I tried to support them as best I could, sending the Scion's coin and other such donations.
Okay, to put this into perspective for chat, I understand Xenos more than I understand Emelians. Let's put it that way.
Fortunately,
that should terrify you.
To overcome adversity time and time again. Their words grow more confident with every letter, their depictions more vivid. The triumphs and defeats, the joys and sorrows. It is clear that they have come to find value in every experience.
I messaged my buddy, and I'm just like, God, I'm loving Xenos. And he literally just goes, single-minded ambition, king of the autists, great character. And I'm like, I love this man.
But of those they treasure most, it would seem that meeting you might be the most impactful. Why, since that fateful day, I do believe there has not been a single missive in which you were not mentioned by name. 'Tis plain they care for you, and I am glad they have such a steadfast companion watching over them.
Someone could put a flashback to Coils.
Offer you tea, but alas, these are anything but. In any event, why don't you keep me company whilst we await my children's return? Perhaps you might regale me with a tale or two of your exploits.
We all need a Xenos best friend. And when they start acting up, we just beat the crap out of them. It's fine. Just grab swords and go at each other. Outfit swap.
When you mentioned gifts, I wasn't sure what to expect.
Nice.
Mother,
The steel heel on that's actually great.
Look how well it fits you.
Probably mithril, probably.
And the style is to your liking.
Hey, Tony.
It's perfect. Exactly what I would have chosen. But...
Oh, whoops.
Naturally. You are hardly little children anymore. And while I shall miss dressing you in those precious matching outfits, I must respect the individuals you have grown to become.
Make her on the Scions. Probably. I don't know. I don't know the difference. I don't know
See for
the
yourself.
actual position on that. So this is going to lead into...
Thank you for the splendid clothes, Mother. Stylish, comfortable, and eminently practical.
What's going to happen to his twin grimoire? What actually happened to Alice's twin grimoire? Like, it wasn't destroyed. She just stopped using it.
I am so glad you like them. They are, however, missing one final touch.
I need Firefly in Star Rail, Tony. You know this.
If you would allow me, Master Alphino.
Oh, is this the Sage presentation? Yeah, it is. This is the Sage debut.
Wait. Are these...
A sage's tools of the trade. They belonged to your father.
Oh, he's gonna be pissed. 90 Sage gear, just white. Oh, that's interesting.
Though he may as well be chained to his desk these days, as a student, he was often called upon to venture into the field. He wielded those armaments, both to heal and to harm in no few battles. None so fierce as those you two have braved, perhaps, but battles nonetheless. Thus did I pull them out of storage, to show you that he was not always the man who stands in vehement opposition to you now. And also because it would be a terrible waste of ridiculously expensive House Leveilleur commissioned artistry.
Got him. There's the Sage Stone.
I am told these devices are quite difficult to master, but someone of your extensive experience should soon have them darting about with grace and aplomb. May the wisdom in that crystal serve you well. And please, try to find common ground with your father, that you might come and go without need for this awful subterfuge.
This is gonna be an interesting plotline to follow, actually. I want to know how this happens on our return to Sharlyan. Yeah, she did.
Well, Mother. I promise.
Nah, she's the cool, strong mom. That's her trope.
My final gifts to you, before you run off, are an observation and a suggestion. Firstly, Fortuno has ever been a serious man, but it was only after you were born that he truly lost himself in his work. I may not know the Forum's inner workings, but I know your father's. The timing of that change in him holds some significance.
Yeah, makes sense. Protecting his kids from the world.
Do
Yeah.
not seek to best your father with words. Far better that you simply show him. Let him discover the merit of your actions, after they cannot be undone.
She has so much experience with that, it's not even funny.
Oh, Mother.
We shall take your wisdom to heart. Thank you again for these gifts, and farewell for now.
Safe travels, my children. Eat well, stay warm, and keep your friends close.
Wrong being opposites. As it turns out, and I keep saying this every video I do on the subject, every relationship is subjective. Sometimes it just works. If it works, if it's healthy, if everything's cool, cool. Is mid, Tony. I will time you out. Don't you talk smack about Firefly. Thank you for indulging Mother's request, because it mean a lot to her, and I shall refrain from inquiring to the content of your private conversation. This is all too brief for now, however, we will suffice. These tokens, as the tokens of home we will carry with us, these gifts help us remember who we are and what we became. Just entirely, let's return to the annex and join our companions, which, thus, we must continue on with the other quest chain now. See that sassy walk? Yep, we have hit the point where we... No? Where is this quest going to conclude? This is actually throwing me for a loop. Talk Mr. Never watched Die Hard. I haven't watched Die Hard. I got a Beretta because Resident Evil. Samurai Edge, baby. I think this was the wrong one. This was definitely the wrong one. Oof. Big oof. Got a lot of stern faces, and my library looks over too again. Not to our knowledge, we're associates of Kryl and the students of Baldessian. We seek the patch of have narrow understanding you can assist us. Ah, the test subjects. Welcome, welcome. That's the one. The what now? Test subjects, you say? Oh, you hadn't heard? Well then, allow me to explain. In order to travel to an aetheryte, you orderly need to attune to it beforehand. Otherwise, you can't use it as a beacon to seek out while you're in a mess of ether hurling along the live stream. Inconvenient, but incontrivable limitation of the aetheryte teleportation. But what if I were to tell you that there's a way to travel to an aetheryte without being attuned to it? Way to teleport instantly to places you've never been. For long years, we've labored to make such travel possible. Now, people might move about more freely. We've finally done it. We've created a new kind of aetheryte that doesn't require attunement. Really, that changes everything. Well, my language may have been a bit misleading. The user need not attune to these aetherytes, but the aetherytes themselves must have been pre-attuned to each other, thereby facilitating travel between 2 points. But it just so happens that our first test pair of aetherytes, one has been installed here in Sharlyan, the other over in Port Town in Themner. Okay, so it's just a two-way conduit. The nodes the aetherytes speak to each other. Okay. The nation has been long maintained strong ties with Razad Han. Indeed, we owe much of this breakthrough the contributions of their alchemists. Sum it up, we need to test these aetherytes. How fortuitous for you. You did mention that an accident has impaired my ability to channel ether. Will this be a problem? Not at all. As a matter of fact, you might say the aetherytes were made for people like your good self. These magics imbued within will whisk you away without any effort on your part. Veritable dream come true, and far be it for me to worry about such things, but we have permission to make use of your shiny new invention. Hey, Calican, how's it going? The only permission required is yours, assuming that you're willing, we're all set. May come as a surprise, but we actually struggle to find test subject. Most people seem to have an unreasonable fear of their souls gradually being disintegrated as they drift helplessly in the live stream in the statistically unlikely event that something goes awry. But it's plain that you aren't most people. This crowd surely knows how to pick them. Estinian. For my change subject, our master, Wolfson, and mistress, Lita, not present today. Oh, you didn't hear they've recently resigned their posts. Their expertise was needed elsewhere. Large-scale project held by the forum itself, as I understand, but I'm not privy to the details. Oh, that's going to be a point of contention down the line. That's going to be neat. I see. No reason for traditional travel as well, cargo and shipping and all that. Right. Any other questions? No, let's get going before we change your minds. See to your preparations. Head outside of the Aetheryte Plaza. I'll be along shortly. Would be unlikely, right? Well, that's you couldn't press the story forward. So, if we finish Estate Visitor, though, that should, at least as of all the last expansions, the prior expansions, we will run out of quests in that chain. I'm making sure I hit that point. Zoop to ask a single question for Kayla Man playing tomorrow. Are you done? Right now, I don't have the time, unfortunately. I do community nights at times, but right now I don't have the ability to go through them. I'm trying to blitz through 14 as much as I can, because this has been a months-long project to to go through an MMO. But thank you for asking. I definitely do appreciate that. Enjoy the time with the Liviers, I hope. That's how the twins fared with their new outfit to tell the tale. Hope I can help them reconcile with their father, that they might return one day, their heads held high. In the meantime, we edge ever closer to the secret this forum strives to hide. The flower bequeathed to you by Heidelin is sure to be good for us going forward. Confident that once you scouted the situation over in Thanaver, we'll be well equipped to plot out our next move. Said brother. Yeah, at this time, I'm not. However, I'm not opposed to that in the future. 45. I'm trying to figure out how long this next arc's going to be. Let's go. Let's see how this is going to go. Well, I'm trying to gauge time. Tell you what, for VOD purposes, we'll cut that there, and I'm going to go immediately start this. So if you're on stream, stick tight for just a second, and I'll be right back.